Hello, everybody. It's John with ACTION-FLIX.com coming at you with another episode of the Weekly Intel. First of all, my apologies for not doing one last week. Shoulder stuff, all kinds of good stuff got in the way. But I'm here now, and good Lord, what a week it has been. It's Thursday nights. It is 7:05-ish my time in Panama City, Florida. And we are talking CinemaCon 2024, which is going in Las Vegas, Nevada. CinemaCon was it's kind of like San Diego Comic-Con, but without the comic books. So it's basically just movies. It's the big studios coming together every year, and they're just peddling flesh, their films, and they get the actors and everybody, the big stars, the big names to come in and just basically get everybody excited about future movies and big announcements. And boy, have there been some huge announcements as a couple just coming up to a couple hours ago. And if anything's happened since then, my apologies, because I had to take a break and actually spend some time with my daughter and have dinner. Jeez, it's just been ongoing all day long. And hey, we got Wolverine in the house. Wolverine 626. He says at the end of the countdown, I expect to hear Mortal Kombat. Right? I love it. Sounds cool to me. Yep, it's Comic-Con for movie theaters. Yeah. So basically they're selling it for the theaters. Not that they have to. Half this crap that they're it's a no-brainer. But I'm going to bring my co-host in, the man that I have with me, my co-host, my brother from another mother, my action nerd, who has his own podcast, Shane the Action Nerd Logans, who has his podcast, The Action Nerd Dudes Being Dudes Talking Movies. Let's bring him in. Shane, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. I've my show's still on hiatus because of new job.
Don't worry, it's
Today,
coming back. He promises. He just got
yes,
promoted. It's
I just got promoted
so
this
that
week.
means we probably won't see it until next year.
Oh no,
congratulations. Congratulations.
I am trying to work on doing an episode May. So
fair enough. But hey, you're always on my show, so it's not like you're missing any beats or anything. So it's in the meantime, and I apologize to everybody out there. I do this on the fly. I know a lot of podcasts and a lot of people out there. Well, first of all, we got to do it right. We got to jock up. So there you go. There's Mr. Schwarzenegger, and then the hearty handshake heard around the world. So there you go. So now that we got that out of the way, so a lot of people have set schedules on when they do their shows and stuff like that. Not me. I have a life, and I have all kinds of shit going on, and my shoulder, as all you know, I've bitched and complained about it numerous times on my podcast, and it hasn't gotten any better. I start physical therapy a week from this Monday coming up. Super excited about that. That's when they're finally going to take my arm and move it out from the body, which I cannot wait for. I hope they give me alcohol or something, which would be super marvelous. Probably not, but it is what it is. But other than that, so I didn't do a weekly intel last week just because, shit, stuff like that. But with CinemaCon going on, I contacted Shane today. I'm like, hey, what you doing? It's like, want to do a show? It's like, okay, let's advertise it for an hour and see and I got 7 people watching right now. It's like, look at that, we got Wolverine in the house. So you all know, once y'all, we're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X, Twitter, whatever the hell you want to call it. But good Lord, so Shane, so what's the last movie you saw? Was it Godzilla X Kong when we talked about that last week?
Theatrically, yeah. Actually, I think that was the last movie I've watched because I've been
all together,
with,
at home too.
Yeah, with at home too, because I really haven't watched a whole lot of movies this week.
Because you have a life.
Busy with work, getting promoted, driving the route that I'm driving. Oddly enough, the thing that I was looking forward to, I'm not actually a fan of the franchise, because I'm not an RPG video game guy. I am a shooter guy. But Fallout, I start watching that today.
Yeah, I am. I have no I have no interest. I shared the trailer when it came out. I'm like, I don't watch it.
There's only one reason why I'm watching the show, because one of my favorite actors is in it, and,
Walton?
that's it. Walton, yep, Walton Goggins, and
He's
from
got
what
no
I've
nose.
seen
He's missing his nose.
yeah, he's a badass with no nose.
I don't know the video game by any stretch of the man. This is one video game that I know
Uh,
absolutely nothing. I mean, I know Fallout. When I hear Fallout, I'm like, yeah, it's a video game. But other than that, I couldn't tell you what
yeah,
the
like, I was
hell it is
asking,
about or what you do.
the guy that I'm taking over his route, he's still training me on it, and, he apparently is a fan of the franchise, so I was asking him questions about it, just so I can know what's going on. I was surprised to see Kyle MacLachlan in the show, so
Yeah, I saw him in the trailer. Yeah, I was like, oh, hey,
yeah,
cool.
he plays the main character's father, the overseer of the vault, which is the underground living quarters. So,
Ooh. Have you watched what? Have you watched one? How many episodes have you gotten into?
I'm like an episode and a half, so
Oh,
I'm in the second episode.
what's your thoughts so far on episode 1.5?
You know, it's you know,
Have you played the video
it's
game at all?
I played Fallout 3 when it first came out
All
on the
right, so you've
360.
played the video game. Okay, a little bit.
Partially,
Yeah.
but like I said, I'm not an RPG guy. Like, the game that I'm loving the hell out of is Helldivers 2. So,
Mm.
I looked at my phone, saw on the PlayStation Network that I put in 37 hours in, like, the last month of playing that game,
Uh,
and I just keep having fun.
that's cool. Well, good. I mean, I watched Monkey Man last week. I did my review for that. Boy, holy shit! If you want to get depressed, watch that movie. My God.
See, the thing I did this weekend, besides being dad, was WrestleMania weekend, and
I
I had
saw,
a
I saw,
blast
I saw
watching it.
the, I watched like the big things. I watched like Saturday night. I watched The Rock and the tag team
Mhm.
match, and then I watched the next night. I watched the no holds barred anything go, and boy did anything go. I mean, like, they
Oh,
were
yeah.
throwing everybody out there, but the kitchen sink there after. And then when the lights turned on, they went ding. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? And I'm
Yep,
like,
I was
yeah.
like,
So that was pretty
"Undertaker, hell yeah."
yeah,
So,
and then he just and then
uh
there he is, and then he chokes. I'm like, wow, they're going all out here, and
oh,
so
yeah, they went well, they did have technically, with Snoop Dogg appearing, they did have the kitchen sink during that, because, he was the unofficial host of it.
mhm.
They threw like, I was reading, they were like, "Oh, this was the, WWE Avengers Endgame of
Yeah, I read that
WrestleMania."
too. Like it's the end of the story, It's like, oh,
Yep, yep,
yeah.
I'm a huge Cody Rhodes fan. I have 2 figures on the wall that I have right here. Uh, 2 figures right back there
Well, then
on
you were
that wall, like,
super
the big
happy
one.
Sunday night.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I was ecstatic. Uh, you know, I'm pretty sure my neighbors down the hall might have heard me go, "Yeah!"
I had not watched
So
wrestling in for years until last weekend. I was like, what the hell? Because I have Peacock with my
mhm.
friend, and so I watched. I was like, but good lord, 2 nights, 4 hours. Holy cow, that's a lot of wrestling.
That's just the wrestling, because they had, a total of 4 hours of pre-wrestling stuff, like discussing the stories, discussing, like, some interviews with some of the wrestlers, just discussing the whole event itself.
Mm.
So you had, CM Punk showing up and helping take it down Drew McIntyre on week or night 2, and, you know, I was like, "Whoa, shit." And I had a blast, especially seeing, John Cena showing up, The Rock, The Undertaker, all of those guys. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I only watched like the main stuff. I'm like I don't because I don't know a lot of people. I haven't watched it in a long time, so I was just like I was just gonna I just watched. I wanted to see what they did, like with the Cody Rhodes and because I know Cody Rhodes
Mhm. Well,
and
they've
his
done a
legacy and
lot
stuff.
of since TKO took over, the story and everything has changed. It's gotten better, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Uh, oh, cool. I haven't
Hangar
seen Night
18. Is
One
that
yet.
like the original Hangar 18? Like way back when Hangar 18? That's old school. If that's it, yeah. Because
Mhm.
I had seen that in years. I love that movie. I want to see Wages of Fear. That's on Netflix. That's French. Yeah, I think. Is it
Yep,
French? Wolverine? I
I
forget.
think so.
Yeah, but that looked
But
cool. That trailer looked cool to that one. Night Swim. That's like yay, swimming pool that kills you. Woo!
yeah,
I'm
I've
like
been
super excited.
trying to find like TV shows to get into this week. Like I started watching Resident Alien yesterday. That just made me laugh. I was like,
Darren McGavin. Yeah, that's old
yep,
school, man. I remember watching that when HBO first came out. I'm old. Yeah, cable came out and HBO came out, and Hangar 18 was one of the big movies. That and Hawk the Slayer. That was the other one that they're. Oh, and Lone Wolf McQuade. That's how I saw Chuck Norris for the first time. Was HBO. God
yeah.
bless him.
Lone Wolf McQuade was like when I was living in Germany. It was either on one of the British channels or like the American rerun channels, like at least twice a year.
Welcome
So,
to my hacienda, Mr. McQuade.
mhm.
Oh, I love that's my like I said, that's one of my besides that and the Delta Force. I love the Delta Force. A lot of people don't like a lot of people look at me weird when I say the Delta Force is my favorite Chuck Norris flick. But it is. It's his most epic movie. It's got the best
Oh yeah,
soundtrack. It's got Lee Marvin and it's got them riding around on dune buggies and motorcycles with missiles and machine guns. It's like how can you not
yep.
but a lot of people are like, he didn't do a lot of karate in it. I'm like, so he beat the shit out of the
So
Robert Forster. It's like, what do you want, people?
I was gonna say here the movie I liked the most when I saw it as a kid. I haven't come visit it again. Was Chuck Norris and Sidekicks.
Oh
So
my God.
yeah.
Joe Piscopo playing the crease
Oh
character.
yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Oh yeah, I thought that was absolutely hilarious. I like Joe Piscopo. He's hilarious. Better than Walker on the whole.
Yeah, well, Walker was a different beast. I mean, it wasn't
Hmm.
supposed to be Lone Wolf. I mean, it was based off of Lone Wolf Cray, but like they had to make him more family friendly if they wanted
Yeah.
the show to survive. But I dug it. I mean, sometimes it got cheesy. Like, oh my god, did it get cheesy? But other than that, I mean,
Oh.
I was into Walker Texas Ranger too. That was but we're getting off tangent already. I mean, Christ, we're talking wrestling and old Chuck Norris movies. We're supposed to be talking about CinemaCon 2024. So let's get it. Let's
Well,
get it.
you don't know. They could with remakes and everything nowadays, it could pop up in CinemaCon.
Yeah, that's true, right? I mean, something else could have popped up in the last hour. God forbid. All right,
Oh
here we
God.
go. All right. Ooh, yeah. We start with a good one. Oh, let me get on that one. Ooh, hang on a second. Okay, my inner child geeked out when I read the freaking like. Just read that and just
Yeah.
immerse yourself. It's like not only are
Yeah.
they greenlighting the GI Joe Transformers crossover at CinemaCon, but Steven fucking Spielberg is executive producing. They're like, hey Steve, can you come in here and make sure we do this shit? Yeah, sure. But then again, what does Steven know about GI Joe and Transformers? I don't know, but he knows movies, so it's like
He helped produce the like first couple Transformers, at least the very first one in '07.
that's right. Thank you
So
for refreshing my memory on that one.
yeah.
So
But yeah, I
yeah,
was gonna say
so
I'm a GI Joe fan too. So here's my
oh my god,
Lieutenant
am I a
Falcon
GI Joe
figure.
fan? Okay, so let's talk about the cross. Okay, so Steven Spielberg has come in to executive produce. Now we all know Transformers: Rise of the Beast. It was hinted at, or at the very end when he gets recruited, and it turns out that he's getting recruited into GI Joe, and everybody lost their collector's
Yep.
sheet because
Oh,
we're all
I did when I watched it.
oh, so
Yeah.
did I. I was like, no, well, I did, but then I was like, is this actually going to happen? And of course, it's been a while, so it's like, and we all know Snake Eyes tanked, and like GI Joe and theatrically is on life support, but in the
Yeah.
comics, it's Skybound is just like unleashing. They have the new GI Joe line. They have Duke, Cobra Commander, and then they're gonna have Destro come out in June and Scarlet coming out. So you got a whole bunch of freaking GI Joe titles from Skybound coming out. Oh, and then they have the collection, the first collection of 1 through 50 of the original Marvel line coming out
Oh,
in the
damn.
summer too. Yeah, so that's actually where this comes from. This artwork right here comes from. That's the
Oh,
cover.
that looks awesome.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I'm gonna get it. But yeah, so here's the thing: the plot for the movie is it's gonna be the plot from the Marvel 1980s era run. So it's not going to be any of the new stuff that they're doing now, like because we all know with Duke and it's the whole same universe, the Energon universe, and everything. So it's not going to be it's going to be from the 80s, which I'm fine with. And now it's going to be a while before this comes out. It was just, I mean, they just greenlit it. So it's going to be a long while before. So now, from now until then, everybody's going to have their choices of what GI Joes and what Transformers they want. And I put in my article, I put it here. I put it, as long as Snake is in it, I'm a happy camper. Just put Snake Eyes in it.
He's gonna be in it.
Put anybody else in the GI Joe universe. Not that I don't have my other favorites, but as long as Snake Eyes, and Storm Shadow. I mean, if you put them in it,
they're probably gonna be in it because they're staples of the franchise. They've been in every movie there is, animated or live action. I'm hoping Duke's gonna be in it.
They could throw a curveball though and be like, "Listen, these guys have been done to death," and
still they're like,
you never know,
figureheads. They're the poster boys of it because
they
if you look at the image right there is Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes.
Yeah.
I get the feeling pretty much almost everybody we see right there, like Roadblock, Lady J, Scarlet, Snake Eye, Storm Shadow, Duke, they're probably gonna be in it. Those are probably gonna be the main ones, and you gotta stay with the mainstays of Transformers. They're right there in that image too. Optimus Prime, Bumblebee.
Yeah.
They're probably maybe RC's gonna be in it, but
I'm assuming because it was teased at the end of Rise of the Beast that they should put the Beast Transformers.
That'd be cool. That would be cool to see Optimus Primal again, and because I did enjoy the hell out of him, especially when he stole a kill from Optimus Prime. That made me laugh.
Yeah,
and you just see him going, eh?
Yeah. So Steven Spielberg, has been listed for every Transformer. So him being listed for the crossover wasn't a surprise. But still, I mean, it bodes well. Come on, get excited, people, because then you're gonna have people out there that are gonna bitch about this movie even before they haven't even freaking the pre-production yet. But there's gonna be people out there that are gonna be like, "This movie's gonna suck. They're gonna fucking ruin it. They're gonna fucking tear it." It's like, guys, oh my god. I mean, the hatred is already. I can feel it festering. like I just posted it on my social media. So when I'm done here tonight and my daughter goes to bed, I'm gonna get online and just check it out. Because I already had because we're gonna talk about another movie, but the guy was like, just put it in the wastebasket, and I wanted to. And again, I don't message anymore because it's too exhausting, I mean. But I wanted to be like, oh, so you're psychic. You seen it in your mind? You seen the movie already? Like, it sucks? Wow. How do you do that? Show me how to do that. That way I can review movies like a year before they come out. It's like, because evidently, sir, you know what you're talking about. It's got to, The Crow. It was The Crow. The Crow.
Yep.
Because that got pushed back, which I knew was going to happen. I called it. Didn't I call it? It was opening up on June 7th, the same day as Bad Boys Ride or Die, and Lionsgate is like, break time. Yeah, we're gonna move it to August because we're not stupid. So it's not coming out.
Exactly. I'm glad they decided to push that back because
it's a no-brainer.
If you have two movies coming out, Bad Boys 4 or The Crow, which people have been shitting on, it's gonna, which one's gonna tank theatrically because everybody else is gonna want to go to the other one.
Bad Boys. Oh no, sorry. Not that one. Okay. Well, people were bitching about the last Bad Boys. I liked it. I mean, it was a little more serious.
I liked it
than the other one, but it's like,
well, the trailer of this one, it looks like it's going to have a little bit more comedy in it than the last one. But
yes,
I'm still looking forward to it, and even when I read your article and people are like, "Oh my God, the advanced, like the extended trailer," which I hope to God we don't see on the internet because we don't need an extended trailer. We got that with the Fall Guy movie, and that one was way too long, gave too much of the story, in my opinion. And I honestly don't think we need to have an extended trailer for The Crow. Let
Gotcha.
there be some mystery.
Let me just say one more thing about the GI Joe Transformers crossover. I'm stoked. I'm excited.
Oh yeah.
Is it ambitious? Yes. Does it sound like it has to
Oh
be?
yeah.
Does it sound like it has to be 4 hours long or broken into 2 movies with all the characters that they should put into it? Yes. But I'm lobbying for Quick Kick. I want Quick Kick. I want Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, and Quick Kick. I want all the martial artists. Oh, and Tunnel Rat. Tunnel Rat's another favorite of mine. I love him too. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
let's put him in. Snow Job. Why not? It's like let's get all the ones that you never thought would be in a GI Joe movie. But you got any last thoughts on the GI Joe Transformers crossover?
I'm excited. If I could throw out a GI Joe, it'd have to be my favorite, which is Lieutenant Falcon. But
Yeah.
we really haven't seen him since the animated film. He did like 2 episodes of.
Yeah, he really
So
didn't bust out anywhere. I mean, he had
no, it's
John
like
Johnson voicing him, which is pretty damn
yeah.
cool. So, yeah,
So,
it's a good
but
choice.
yeah, it's like I'm excited. So that's my toss in the hat for GI Joe is give us Falcon. So I know some people don't like him, but I'm like, give us Falcon.
The trailer was it already extended? Actually, no, I don't think it was. Was it 3 minutes? I don't think
It's
it
like
was that long. I
no, it
don't.
was like 2 minutes, maybe
Yeah, I
two and
don't
a
think it
half,
was that long.
like the perfect length.
Yeah, but let's go on to the next stage. So this was one of the first articles I did for CinemaCon 2024. So we got Henry Cavill, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Aiza Gonzalez that are going to star in the Guy Ritchie film now titled In the Gray, which sounds pretty damn cool. There they are right there. I just used some shots of them. So let's talk about this one. So In the Gray. The release date is set for next January 17th, which is pretty cool. So it's not like we have that long to wait. But it
No.
follows A-list stars as a group of operatives who operate in the gray, which hence the name.
Yeah.
They're a group who operates in the middle of criminality and the law. So in other words, they break it. If they need to get the job done, they're going to do whatever the fuck it takes to get the job done. But something happens where there's a big, huge billions of dollars of cash for the taking, and that's what propels the plot along. And basically, they're saying it's going to have the Guy Ritchie humor in it, along with the action. And I'm excited because Guy Ritchie's been banging with the action movies as of late, and like he did The Covenant with Jake Gyllenhaal, and of course we have Mr. Cavill coming out with the Ministry of Ungodly Warfare. That's so Aiza Gonzalez is in that one too. So he's using like people that he's used to working to, which is pretty dang cool.
He's one of the directors that I have a staple of actors I like to work with. I become buddies with them. That's why Jake's coming back for a Guy Ritchie film. I'm a Henry Cavill fan. I'm a Guy Ritchie fan. That's why like a big chunk of the movies you'll see Jason Statham in is because of Guy Ritchie. We have Jason Statham.
This is true. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, but he didn't create Jason Statham, the action star, though. He didn't. He put Jason Statham in his earlier movies, but he wasn't responsible
which
for
were
creating the
comedies, and Statham was pretty funny in those comedies himself.
He was.
So.
Yes, their third project together. Exactly. Yeah. So, and I'm excited because Henry Cavill, he got screwed out of being Superman so frippin' bad. I mean, they even put him at the end of Black Adam, for God's sakes. They're like, hey, and then no. I'm like, that was the most bullshit move ever by Warner Brothers.
Well, it was supposed
James
to
Gunn.
be Shazam,
that was a bullshit move. And now they're like, oh, let's cast a younger actor.
Let's reboot it. Yeah,
David Corn, sweet sweat, whatever. I mean, he looks wonderful. Whatever. I mean, again, I reserve judgment until I see first look footage. So. That's all I got to say. But yeah, we got In the Gray. So besides the Ministry of Ungodly Warfare, which is coming, actually that's coming out. There's a sneak peek this Saturday in movie theaters which I can't go to because I have my daughter. Oh, I love
Same.
my daughter, I do, but it's like I wish it could have happened, like, you know, on a week where I didn't, because I really wanted to see the early screening. So I'll have to wait till next week to go see it. But it is what it is. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
So yeah. But other than that, I'm excited. And then of course now let's go over and the title says it all. The Crow shows off extended look to rave reviews.
Yeah.
People got excited, people. Love it or hate it.
Good.
Even before you damn well
Good.
see it. That's what I put in my art. I'm so
Yeah.
sarcastic sometimes, but hey, that's just me. But but yeah, they moved it to August, but they said that the extended look looks like a bloody damn good time, and it
Oh yeah.
looks good, and it got a standing ovation or something. I don't know,
Yeah, that's what
yeah,
I read. I was like, what the heck? Really?
yeah. So super
A
excited.
dark supernatural comic-based movie got a standing ovation that people were shitting on a month ago almost, uh, about the trailer just being released, and everybody's shitting on, "Oh, I don't like how he looks," and there's people giving standing ovation and rave reviews. Maybe we shouldn't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. If they didn't name him Eric Draven, if they did a separate all new character, we would not have been having that conversation to begin with.
True.
But they made him Eric Draven, and then of course it goes back to Brandon Lee, who again, iconic. We get it.
Yep.
I understand. But it's like I've gone on record so many times as saying I only like The Crow. The sequels suck bad. The Mark Dacascos series was Mark
It was
Dacascos
okay.
did
I
martial
watched
arts
good.
dressed up as.
I watched like 5 episodes of it.
This might be
and
the first Crow
Tr-
movie besides Brandon Lee's that I actually. I mean, listen, I have to watch
Yeah.
the movie first, but I like what I see. I do. I mean, that's, and the guy's like, just put it in the garbage can or something like that. And I'm like, you know what? Shut up. Go.
Yeah.
You're gonna go fucking watch the movie. So it's like, don't even like go there.
Yeah, I just love how there's haters, and the only reason they're hating is because the Brandon Lee one. But they're probably gonna be the guys who show up to go see it opening weekend just so they can try to shit on it, and they're probably gonna be the ones that change their minds. So
Listen,
yeah.
besides his haircut, which I'm still not a fan of, and the stupid
Yeah.
jacket that they had him wearing, and I mean, some bad choices there. I mean, but I mean, the action looks cool. Of course, they're comparing it to John Wick style action, but I don't care if it looks good. Shut up. It's like, who cares if it looks good and it's bloody and he's like pulling a sword out of his chest and then using it on other people? I'm like, what's not to love? I'm like, come on. It's like, and it looks more dark and demonic than the original Brandon version.
So there's one thing I do have to say. People, do not get me wrong. I love John Wick. I love the franchise. Please stop comparing every fucking movie to it. It pisses me off.
It happened
John
with
Wick,
the Matrix.
there's nothing related.
When the Matrix came out, everybody was comparing everything that looked like the Matrix.
That was pissing me off back then too. I'm like, it's nothing like it. It's nothing like it. You don't.
Anything that looks like
movies.
Kung Fu. Any type of like where they're doing it, like The Painter I watched. I mean, again, you can make the argument that, it looks like John Wick because he's like, there's like a lot of the, martial arts type movement with the guns and stuff like that. But I dug it. I'm like, if I'm entertained, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, if you're entertained, cool. Like you said last week when you saw Monkey Man, people were comparing it to John Wick. How the fuck are they? Is it like that?
The only similarities between that movie and John Wick was the fact that he wore a black suit at the end. That was maybe one comparison, that he wore like a John Wick style suit at the end when he went in to do his thing. And then there's some of the action, but there's no guns. There's no really, I mean, it's all knives and hand-to-hand combat. And it's not action packed by any stretch of the imagination. There's 2 action there's a little bits of peppered in throughout the movie, but there's a big action sequence like in the middle of the movie, and then it's at the end. other than that, it's a slow burn.
Well,
So
I was gonna say, people also forget there's other movies that had the John Wick style thing before John Wick,
this is
and and nobody compares John Wick to those movies. Like, oh, Gung Fu, John Woo films.
what?
Uh,
Who's that?
oh,
I don't. Who's this
nobody.
John Woo that you speak of? I do not know his name. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's blasphemy, my friend, blasphemy
You
saying
mean
that.
John Woo
But
was just doing
I
it like
can.
way back in the late '80s, like the late '80s and the early '90s?
Oh,
Are you
yeah.
sure?
Let's see.
Are you
He
sure?
didn't direct it, but I was gonna say he didn't direct it, but he produced it. Replacement Killers, John
What?
Woo inspired, and
Oh.
the guy wears he wears like a red tie and black. Uh,
Yeah, Chow
South
Yun-fat
Korean
was
film that
more
I
John Wick
enjoyed.
than before John Wick was a gleam in
Yes.
Chad Stahelski's eyes. So it's like,
Well, let's see.
yeah, your
The
argument is
Man from
invalid.
Nowhere.
Whoever you are. Sorry, go on.
The Man from Nowhere.
Mm, the Korean film. Yes, I
South
love it.
Korean film.
Mhm.
That was basically John Wick before John Wick. Mild mannered guy who's just trying to live his life. Come to find out, he's a badass ex special forces guy trained by the South Korean military and the United States military.
Mm.
And when the shit hits the fan, what does he do? He starts killing people. Like he starts
Well,
even
he kills
shooting
them
people
well.
without
He
even
just doesn't
really
kill them, he
looking at
kills
them.
them well. Like,
Very
very
much
well.
so. And people don't compare John Wick to that movie.
No. Yeah,
So, and
that's so yeah,
you could
exactly.
see the
It's like,
similarities.
yeah, or The Raid. The Raid's another movie that everybody's like, of course, The Raid set the standard when it came out. Before, it was
Yeah.
just like that just opened up a powder keg of wow. But it's like when that movie came, now everything was being compared to that too. When like Indonesia was in the
Hmm.
top of their game and everything. Which was great. Yeah, I mean, it always happens. I mean, I just
Oh
I
yeah.
just roll my eyes and shrug my shoulders and keep
Yeah,
typing.
it just annoys me when John Wick, great film, 10 years old this year.
Mm.
And, nobody's actually saying, oh, the 10th anniversary of John Wick. No, they're not saying that. They're just comparing everything to it. I love the movie. But it just annoys the shit out of me that almost every movie since then has had some John Wick inspired elements in it. And then people complain that, oh, it's too much like John Wick.
I love the doves. Sue me.
Those are great.
I love that he put the doves in Mission Impossible 2, for God's sakes. Or like
But yeah. The scene where, Tom Cruise is walking, there's fire, and there's a
in
dove flying by.
slow
I'm like,
motion. Yeah,
that's
I mean,
awesome.
I love it. I love Mission Impossible 2 is my favorite Mission Impossible movie. Sue me. I'll say it till my grave. I love it.
I was going to
Even
say,
the last
for
couple that
me,
have come out, the last couple that have come out, everybody's saying those are the best action movies ever made. I don't agree, but they're
I
great. They're
haven't seen
good,
Dead
but
Reckoning yet, people,
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
I liked Fallout.
I know. I was just making a joke.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
he has become, yeah, the doves. Yeah, I mean, it's like, oh, look, there's hey,
Well, I
there.
was going to say, if you give me a minute, John, I'll be right back. Just give me a minute.
Okay. Well, when he's leaving, I will continue to talk. Silent Night was not your typical John Woo movie. I liked it. Joel Kinnaman was cool in it. I liked the idea that there was no talking in it, and I liked how it was like John Woo does gritty urban action. There's a little bit of gun fu. There was a little bit of double gun action, just like a couple seconds worth. At the end there. But I liked how that was. John Woo. But then everybody complained about that, and I was like, why? He's just doing something different. Like it wasn't Chow Yun-fat sliding down a banister, shooting double guns and stuff like that. It was Joe Kinnaman who had a really bad day, losing his son and everything, and then he couldn't talk and went out for revenge. And I dug it. I really enjoyed it. I never did a review of it because it was probably happening during my bad
I
days.
apologize,
So yeah.
everybody, but I'm sorry.
Oh, no
I'm
worries. I
not
was talking about
sorry, but
Silent Night when you were
I was
gone.
gonna say, look, there's John Wick, The Man from Nowhere, great films. Watch them. You could see that John Woo helped inspire like the directors who made that as well.
This is true.
You could have changed subjects, but I'm like, I just had to go get those. And you know, I I'm not gonna lie. I watched Silent Night Christmas Eve this last year. I wish they would have had a little bit more dialogue to tell a little story, but I understood why they didn't. But it was a fun movie. It reminded me of the old school John Woo movies, and
I was saying how it was actually different, like for a John Woo movie, because you didn't have
it was a
the balletic gun fu double gun stuff. It was gritty urban,
yeah,
type.
which
John Woo does urban action, which I thought,
yeah.
so.
So, but yeah, it had the elements of a John Woo film, but it kind of didn't feel like one to me. So I
I
like
can
seeing
see,
Joel Kinnaman
your
as a
point there
badass. I
too.
want to
Yeah,
see him do more stuff.
but I dug it. Like I said, I like
Oh
it.
yeah.
And the finale was fucking kick ass. So, all right, let's continue on with our CinemaCon 2024 good time. Now, this is another article put out, the weekly intel recap. Cavill teases Chad Stahelski's Highlander. Dave Bautista plays the killer's game, and Mark Wahlberg goes flight risk. Oh, these are I'm super excited.
I was gonna say,
like this
4K
this
disc of
poster
Highlander.
now. This is like one of those like it's not a legit poster.
It still looks good.
It does. That's why I put it in there. If I like it, I put it in there. Whoever the artist is, let me know
Yeah.
if anybody knows, because it's badass. I mean, it's he's obviously he's got the Witcher hair going. But so Henry Cavill was at CinemaCon promoting his Guy Ritchie films, but he did talk about this film that has been in development since I was a baby. So hopefully someday they'll finally actually go in front of the cameras. But he said in his on stage, he said, if you thought you'd seen me do sword work before, you haven't seen anything yet.
Yep.
Which is his, if we all saw The Witcher, we saw what he did with a sword in The Witcher, which was pretty damn good. So if we haven't seen anything yet, I'm really excited to see what they got going on.
And hearing that Chad Stahelski is part of the project, I'm like, I'm in.
Listen, and I said it in my article. I said, this is the one remake that nobody's going to have a problem with, because it's Chad Stahelski doing it. Henry Cavill is going to rock it. Everybody's going to be, of course, Christopher Lambert, iconic. The Kurgan, iconic. Clancy Brown, the sequels, I did like Endgame, though. I like how him and Adrian Paul teamed up in Endgame.
That was a cool one.
Was criminally, I don't want
underused.
That's a story for another time. But other than that, the other sequels, we all know Highlander, the Renegade version, where they took out the alien plot. Thank God, because whoever thought of that one should have been shot.
That is the only version of the second movie that I've seen.
You guys see the Renegade version. It does make it better, because they totally take out that stupid plot where. And then there's the one with Mario Van Peebles, which is kind of like a remake of the first one, just not as well.
That was actually the first one I'd seen.
You saw the third one first? Oh wow!
I would, I saw the trailers for it originally. Thought it looked cool. We rented it, and that's actually kind of what got me into the franchise. My whole Highlander journey is backwards. Like, oh, the third movie, part of the show. The fourth movie. Yep. Yeah, nobody. Yeah, I'd have more, not if.
Slightly.
But no, it's like, I'm excited for the movie, but it's like my whole journey was 3, 4, part of the show, 4, 1, and then 2, and then sadly, number 5.
Gotcha. Well, Kevin went on to say, I'm a lover of the original movies, for better or for worse, pointing out, obviously they're not that great. And it's one of those things where when I was reading the script for the first time, I wasn't quite sure where they were going to go with it. The first few movies touched on the lore, but my goodness, me, oh my, we are going deep into these characters. So,
good.
Take that for what it's worth. So yeah, so obviously they're going to elaborate on the lore of the Highlander, and there can only be one,
I'm just hoping they don't cancel this project like the video game that they had planned for the early 2000s. This remake has been in the works since basically number 5 went out on Sci-Fi Channel. And so many different actors
He's right there with
have been
you.
attached to that.
He was
So, yeah.
introduced to Highlander 3 on Stars in 1995. I was privileged enough to see the first one first. I mean, because like I said, my cousin had the video store, and he was like, "Hey, check this one out." I'm like, "What is this?"
Like I said, right here, 4K disc, 4K disc of it.
No, I'm not saying.
I love that
I'm just
movie.
saying. I'm trying to see it through your guys' eyes, like because I'm always fascinated by like people who've seen like because I just know me, and I'm like I'm lucky enough where I'm older than dirt, where I've been able to see like franchises from the beginning.
Well,
Yay,
like
I'm
my
old. But I'm
the
curious
example I
to
could
see how
say,
it would have been if I was like you guys and I saw like him fighting Mario Van Peebles first, and then went back and then
it
said,
was
"Hey, Clancy Brown did it better." So it's like,
my dad was like, that was okay. And then when Endgame came out, I was excited because I was starting to get
that's
into
that's how
the
I felt
TV
when I saw
show
the
back
third
in
one.
Germany.
I
Oh,
mean, the
there
third
it
one
goes.
was like all right, but it was. I mean, and then the ending. I mean, I haven't seen it in
Yeah.
a long, 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 long time. I mean, I watched the first one all the time. I mean, God knows and the other ones. I mean, I probably watched the first one and Endgame the most. And then other than that, I
Yeah.
haven't seen the second one and the third one in like over a decade, probably.
I will say Endgame was the one that introduced me to Donnie Yen. So,
Ah, interesting.
mhm.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I
Yeah,
mean, to get introduced to Donnie Yen, that was like probably the worst way to get. I mean, if you were still impressed with Donnie Yen, I mean, he still did a little bit of his
oh yeah,
thing, but then like he gets killed, and it's like Blade 2. Like he had this really he had the triple
yep,
kick, and then he had some cool shit going on, and then he dies. It's like
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, it's like if they could actually get it off the ground, I'm excited for this one because like I said, right now they've been trying to develop it for 20 years.
Oh my god! So
And
like I said, I think I was in high school. I'm kidding. That wasn't that long ago, but
so,
it seems like it. That
but
and
yeah,
all the yeah. Go on.
they
Yep.
had the canceled video game, which I was actually looking forward to the video game. I was like doing when I heard there was a Highlander video game. Like I even remember watching part of the animated series as a kid, and like I have the anime movie on, you know, DVD.
He got introduced to Donnie Yen by Highlander and Game of wow, look at you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Like, see again, I got introduced to Donnie Yen by watching his Hong Kong movie. See, I'm fascinated. Like, I just want to pick your brains now and just be like, how is it to
Well,
like get introduced
for
to the
part
master
of
that is Donnie Yen through such garbage that I mean it's not I
you
mean
know,
I enjoyed it, but not the Donnie yeah, like for what they did to Donnie Yen, I remember when I saw Highlander Endgame and I was just like, what? And because he had that awesome fight with Adrian Paul, like because when he's
mhm,
taking on all the immortals and stuff like that, and Donnie Yen shows up and just like, hey, let me show you how it's done. And then
oh
like, of
yeah,
course, like I said in Blade 2, you're like when they go into the nightclub, they have that, but then like they just unceremoniously like I'm like, oh.
well, part of it for me was because I grew up on military bases. You know, most Hong Kong cinema films don't go to a
No,
military
I get
bases
it.
movie rental.
I'm fascinated that
Yeah.
that's how you got that,
So,
yeah, super fascinating.
but
I bet
you
you
know,
when you finally went to see his or if I just see his Hong Kong movies, you're like, oh, all right, now
Raging
we know what's
Fire is
going on.
one of my favorites.
Oh
So
my gosh,
Raging
such a
Fire is
good
one of
movie.
my favorites. I absolutely love that movie. I
Nicholas Say, and he's
It
in
was the
Nicholas.
reason
Nicholas
why
is
I
in
got
Customs
Hiya.
Frontline. He's the good guy, which I'm super excited about because now he
Mhm.
plays the good guy, and that movie looks freaking awesome.
They're still developing the Sleeping Dogs movie based off the video game. He's
That's
supposed to
never gonna
be
happen. Never gonna happen.
uh,
He's
if
teased
they
it
did a TV show.
8,000 times. It's gotten to the point where it was like Sylvester Stallone teasing The Expendables, although it did happen. But,
That happened, yeah.
yeah.
But
Wow, Lethal Weapon
I could see Netflix doing it.
Lethal Weapon 4 was his introduction to Jet Li. I'm sorry.
Same with me. Same with
I
me.
mean, he was good. I mean, they gave Jet Li. Okay, now that I can see in Lethal Weapon, the last Lethal Weapon movie, they actually had Jet Li do his thing, especially at the end. He was kicking the shit out of both of them, which was pretty.
Oh yeah.
Oh, now we're talking. Yeah. Okay. See, now that's the way to get introduced to Jackie Chan.
Yes.
It's like, or Armor of the Gods, something like that. I'm like, it's like,
I
yeah,
have
that's how
not
you get
seen
introduced
Armor
to
of
an
the
action
Gods, but
icon. Rumble in the Bronx. Oh my God, such a good movie.
Rumble in the Bronx and Super Cop for me.
Oh, Super even better. Michelle Yeoh is in Super Cop as well.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like, you
what
got not
introduced
one,
me
you
to
got two.
her. So I was like,
Yeah.
I loved Rumble
Super.
in the Bronx, and when I saw that they were doing Super Cop, I was excited. Saw Michelle Yeoh, and I became a fan of her as well. So some of these movies, I like them because they introduced me to some of my favorite, Hong Kong cinema actors.
I get it, and like I said, I'm fascinated by it. I wish like it's almost like I want to go back in time and like see it from that perspective. You know what I'm saying? It's like because
Oh yeah.
yeah, because it's cool. I mean, it's like, and to see Donnie Yen and like see Donnie Yen for the first time in like Highlander and Endgame and be like, you know what, that guy disappeared way before he should have, but I'm gonna go check out some more of his movies.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the kind of thing going on there. Yeah. So watch Superman's fancy feet work. Operation Condor. Thank you. Yeah.
I saw the first Operation Condor. I haven't seen on Armor of the Gods. There's some Jackie Chan movies that I watch because I'm like Jackie Chan, and I'm like, this is
Legend
crap.
of Drunken Master. Jesus, go watch that movie if you haven't seen it.
That
The
was a good one.
finale in that movie, it's just full blown Jackie Chan greatness in that movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Once again, we're off tangent. What are we talking about? Oh, good. Good thing it's still on the screen here. CinemaCon
Yep,
2024.
CinemaCon.
Yeah. So here we go. Let's talk about this movie because this is another one I'm excited about. Dave Bautista plays the Killer's Game with action director JJ Loco Perry. JJ Perry. I'm a fan of JJ Perry. If I could get that man for an interview, JJ, I want to interview because I've been a fan of yours for so long, since your tournament days in Taekwondo, and then breaking into the movie industry, being an action choreographer and action director, and now you're directing, which is a good thing. Yeah, this movie, holy cow. Wow. This looks like it's going to rock. Look at that cast.
So,
I mean,
yeah. Well,
hello.
first of all, hearing that Dave Bautista was going to be in it, I'm like, all right, I'm already sold because I'm a Bautista fan.
Oh, hell
Not
yeah.
not of his wrestling because I never actually watched any of his wrestling. It was his acting that I'm a fan of.
Oh,
I
good
was
for
like,
you.
I'm sold, and then seeing Ben Kingsley and Scott Atkins and Daniel Bernhardt and Marco Zarora, I'm like, I am fucking sold. Give me my ticket now.
And Ice Cube.
And Ice Cube, yeah.
And Ice Cube.
I was just like, I'm like, give me
And
my
there's
ticket
Shayna
now.
West is in it too.
Demand
She's
it.
the one that's in that Jade movie we were talking about.
Oh yeah.
Off camera. But yeah, so like okay, so let's go over this one. So Batista plays a man he's Joe Flood and he thinks he's dying. So oh no, not this one. This is a veteran a veteran assassin who is diagnosed with a life-threatening illness and authorizes a hit on himself to avoid the pain that is destined to follow. But soon after, he finds out that he was misdiagnosed and must fend off an army of former colleagues. And the army of former colleagues, Adkins, Bernhardt, and frickin' Zoror. I'm like, hello.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm pissed about is, again, Scott Adkins. This sounds like a bigger movie, but again, Scott Adkins is probably going to be in one scene. Why?
I hope not. I hope they give these guys the respect that they get. I know. I was reading that.
Go ahead.
I was reading that Scott Adkins was blowing up after John Wick 4 last year, and I'm like, good. He needs to have. I hate to say it, that breakout role that gets him noticed by the mainstream, even though he's done mainstream movies, but sadly in those movies he didn't do anything. And Terry Crews is in the movie.
Yes, Terry Crews as
I
well.
think Terry Crews is hilarious. I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce her last name because I would butcher it and I don't want to disrespect her. But Sophia B.
Sophia
She's
Patella.
Patella, thank you. She's a fantastic actress. I loved her in Kingsman, and every time she pops up in something, Atomic Blonde, Rebel Moon Part 1. I'm looking forward to Rebel Moon Part 2.
Listen, I liked Rebel
So,
Moon. Sue me.
so did I.
Was it
So did
was
I.
it a ripoff of like Star Wars and the Seven Samurai to make? Yes, but did I still like it?
There's
Yeah,
reason why it's a ripoff
yeah.
because uh, I don't know if most people realize that was Zack Snyder's script for a Star Wars movie.
Yes,
So,
Rebel Moon Part 2 is next
yep.
week already. Yep. Yay.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to Scargiver.
Again, I didn't see Rebel Moon when it first came out because again, I had so much shit going on in my personal life that I was like in a hole. But I finally watched it a couple weeks ago, and because my friend was like, "Will you watch this movie already so I could talk to you about it?" I'm like, "Sure." So I'm like, it's not like I didn't want to, and I'm a Zack Snyder fan. I defend Zack Snyder.
Oh yeah,
But let me
so
go
am I.
back real quick before we get off too far. Scott Adkins, because you were talking about how he was blown up after John Wick Chapter 4, and everybody and their mother was having him for interviews, and he was on Good Day Today and stuff like that. I got so jaded and pissed off. I was like, fuck all of you. I was promoting Scott Adkins after Special Forces. Where were all you motherfuckers that are like having him on your
Undisputed
morning
2
talk
for me.
shows and shit like that? Us action bloggers, hello. We're the ones that were hyping his movies and hyping him. And now it's like, it's like, I was so mad.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sorry. I was so jaded. I was like, I interviewed him like 9 times already, and I'm like, oh, now you all are jumping on the bandwagon. Good for you. Congratulations, you figured out something we all knew 15 years ago. It's like,
Oh God. Yeah, when I
that was
saw
like
Undisputed 2 for the first time,
yeah.
that was my introduction to him. I was like, this guy is great.
Mine was Special Forces. I remember I went to Blockbuster because it had Marshall Teague, who I already knew from Roadhouse, and Tim Abel, who was in Soldier of Fortune, the great TV show that is not out on DVD. Why? I don't know. Anyways,
I think there's legal issues with the name use.
whatever. Fix it and get it the fuck out already. Because every other obscure TV show from the 90s is out on DVD. So freaking put that one on. Anyway, going back to what I was talking. What was I talking about? See, you got me off a tangent. Oh yeah,
Scott
Special
Adkins.
Forces. Special Forces. Thank you. Yeah, I remember going to Blockbuster. I was like, yes, I love these guys, and and then I didn't. Scott Adkins isn't even on the cover or in the back of the box.
No.
And so I'm like, I ran home. I was married, my first marriage. Yes. At the time. Yeah, my first failure, not my second one. But I ran home and I put it in and I watched the trailer first. And then there's this, it's a real fast trailer. It's like 30 seconds long, but there's this guy spinning around. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, that's not one of those guys, And then I watched the movie and I was just like,
That is the human
rewind,
special effect that is Scott Adkins.
rewind. I was like, yeah. So I've been promoting Scott Adkins, and then everybody, and then it was like everybody was like, oh yeah, he's great. I'm like, no shit. I've been saying that I've been saying that since I was in freaking college. Good for you, but everybody, good for mainstream America. They finally figured out that Scott Adkins is a human special effect. God bless all of you people. I am so mad about that. That's neither here nor there, though. Any last words on the Killers game, which we all want to see?
Where's my ticket? Take my money.
Between Universal Soldier 4 and Undisputed 2 was my Scott Adkins. Oh, so which one did you see first, though? Was it Universal Soldier 4 or Undisputed 2? I love it.
Yeah, mine was Undisputed.
Universal Soldier Day of Reckoning. Oh my god, such a good movie. And I love how it takes a long time to get going because like you're not sure what the fuck is going on. It's like you're like, is this a Universal Soldier movie?
Exactly.
I'm not sure. But then all of a sudden you're just like, oh, and I'm like, yeah, it is. Yeah, it's usually the rights. Yeah, rights issues. I get it, but fix it. I mean, it's been like 20 years, people. What the fuck? Hello. Anyway. Okay, so take my money now, you say. Take my money now.
Yeah, take my money now.
All right, so now we got Flight Risk, which is from director Mel Gibson. And there they are together from, what the hell's that movie
Daddy's
called?
Home 2.
Daddy's Home 2. Yeah, they were in it together. But now Mel Gibson directs Mark Wahlberg, who plays a bad guy for like the first time since Fear. I'm excited.
Yeah.
And not only does he play a bad guy, so here we go. Mel Gibson
He's bald.
is no holds barred actor, filmmaker when it comes to action, and now he has Mark Wahlberg as his newest adrenaline-laced muse in the new action or flight risk. So I got this from Joe Blow because one of the guys was lucky enough to be at CinemaCon, which God damn it, I wish I was. But Flight Risk looks commercial. He says Michelle Dockery is a U.S. Marshal flying a witness. Topher Grace, who I like Topher Grace, he's funny, to testify against the mob. But the pilot of the plane is a psychopathic hitman played by Mark Wahlberg, playing way against type. He even shaved his head to look like he has a bald pate. Looks like a really tight, kick-ass thriller, and Gibson really makes Wahlberg look crazy in this. Scored by a cover of Talking Heads' Psycho Killer. Yeah, I'm like, sign me up, baby. That sounds cool. Your thoughts?
This one I'm a bit on the fence with. I'd have to see footage of it myself. Yes, the baseball bat fight scene was awesome. Yeah, this one I have to see a trailer for. I'm on the fence because Wahlberg has had some hits and he's had some misses, and there's ones that I wanted to see of his, and once I saw it, I was like, it's okay.
But like I said, I like that in fact because he's been playing like comedies and in action movies, playing a good guy. He's the bad guy, so that's what I'm interested in. See him
comedies, he's playing. Well, no matter what, even like in his action movies nowadays, he's playing like the father figure. In a way, the father, like in his comedies, he's playing a dad. In his action comedies, he's playing a dad. He's playing a father figure. Yeah, he's a dad. I totally understand that, being a dad myself. But when I watched Mile 22, I kind of expected him to be an asshole, but he was kind of a father figure to
you just opened up a whole can of worms of mentioning that movie, my friend.
Oh God.
I love Mile 22, and I am in the minority. Let me tell you, I got so much shit kicked in my face when I came out with my review of that movie. And everybody was like, "Are you fucking kidding?" I'm like, no.
I enjoy the movie. I own it. I like it.
I think that's his best character ever in a movie. I love his character. He is an asshole. He's an asshole. I like how he's got Ronda Rousey. It's her birthday, and he's sitting at the table with her, and they bring her that birthday cake. He just slaps out. He's like, "No birthday cake for you." I love it. He's an ass. He's such a dick in this movie because he's autistic. He's a high functioning autistic to the point where he became a super weapon for the government. And I love his character in it. And I think he kicks ass. And I thought Eco kicked ass. I mean, was some of the camera work shaky? Yeah, but I understood what was going on and I dug it. And that ending in the apartment building complex. Oh my God. And what's her name from Walking Dead?
Lauren Cohan.
Yes, her fight scene. She had a kick-ass fight scene with a huge motherfucker in the movie too. I loved it. I did. And I was so pissed off that it ended with a cliffhanger because then I saw the reviews. I'm like, oh, we're not getting a sequel because there was supposed to be this whole big thing. 23. We were supposed to get a franchise with it. We were supposed to get like all this other stuff with it, a TV show, I think, at one time. But then the movie came out and that all went bye-bye.
Didn't do well, no.
Yeah, we have a movie with a cliffhanger. Like she's on the plane. We don't know what happened. He's walking pissed off at the end and the credits roll. I'm like, oh, well, what are you going to do? But I still love the movie. I do. And I'll fight you tooth and nail. And if you want to come on my show, come on my show. And I will defend why I love it. You better defend why you hate it. Because then people comment. All they say is garbage, trash. I hate it. I'm like, why? Give me some reasons. I was like, that's not a reason.
Well, like even in that, like I said, he's kind of a father figure to Lauren Cohan's character. He's her boss.
Yeah, because she's having those issues with her Dick X, with her kid and everything.
Yeah, but
who's Peter Berg, the director of the movie, which I thought was funny. He's an actor. He's in the movie as her Dick ex-husband. So yeah, I thought that was funny.
But yeah, it's like I just I'm glad to hear he's going against type, being a villain, not being a father figure, because
maybe he does. Maybe he has kids, and he'll take it out of his wallet like a picture, just for you, Shane. He'll be like, "I'm a daddy."
Oh, just to annoy me. But yeah, like his last 5
this is
movies,
why I
like
do what
I'm
I
pretty
do.
sure he was a father figure.
I kill people for my children. Maybe it was probably not. Probably not. I digress. What am I gonna do? Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, yeah. All right. So enough of that movie. Let's go on to the next one. This one is kind of a wild card. Joe Carnahan is back. Everybody, Joe
Yeah.
Carnahan, who is an underrated action director. Cop Shop, the A-Team, which I like the A-Team. I like what he did with the A-Team.
I did too.
Smoking Aces was great. Boss Level kicked ass with Mel Gibson and Frank Grillo. He's directed a new movie called Shadow Force, which I love the name. I put it in there. I'm like, I love that name.
Oh, it sounds like a cool name.
And it's about an estranged couple with a bounty on their heads who must go on the run with their son to avoid their former employer, a shadow ops unit sent to kill them. Hey, why not? I'm in. Kerry Washington is in it, and Omar Sy, who I'm not really familiar with. But there's a cast.
He's a French actor.
There's a cast.
Yeah, he's the one wearing the hat right next to Kerry Washington.
Yes.
Like taller than her, but
Yep.
he's I believe he's a French actor. He's Netflix's Lupin. I haven't seen the show, but he's been in a few things. I've seen him. The two names that popped out at me that got me excited was Mark Strong. I'm a big Mark Strong fan.
Yep.
If I hear he's in something, I will purposely go out of my way to see it. And then, Ed Quinn. I was a fan of Ed Quinn on the show Eureka. I purposely watched Navy SEALs versus Zombies because he was in it.
I love that movie. It had Dudikoff in it.
It was bad shit. So, but I when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, Ed Quinn, cool." And then I read that Mark Strong's in it. I'm like, "All right, I'll wait for it. I'll see it." Will I go see it theatrically? Probably not. But if it's
that's
like
a toss up. I got to see a trailer. And like I said, I'm doing the Regal thing now, like where you pay $20 a month, because I'm on a budget, and you can basically go see every movie ever, out. But yeah, so who knows? But yeah, I mean, I'm interested. I'm like I said, so I haven't. I mean, I've heard about it before, but I forgot about it.
It's like I don't know his actual name, but the actor wearing the LA Lakers hat or the LA hat, he did a great job in Black Lightning as the villain. So, they got a good cast. They got a good cast for this movie. I'm looking forward to it, but like I said, am I gonna go seek it out theatrically? Not unless I see a trailer.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it sounds. No offense to Joe Carnahan, who I dig. He's a great great director. But yeah, I don't really know that much.
I get more of a feeling this is gonna be like a Hulu exclusive, kind of like Boss Level, which Boss Level was fucking awesome. I loved it.
Love Boss
It was
Level.
badass.
Oh my goodness, that was so funny. Like how he, like I just love how like he figures things out and like like
I loved how one of his kills that happened to him was he was shot in the nuts and then he got shot in what was it, the head or the throat. And I loved it. And I'm a Frank Grillo fan. You put Grillo in anything, I'll watch it.
He's the hardest working man in Hollywood. Every day I wake up, there's Frank Grillo. Well, actually, I haven't had any Frank Grillo news in a while. I'm kind of bummed. I'm like, where's
it's been like a week. It's been like a week that Grillo hasn't been mentioned in something.
Oh, he's in Tulsa King. That was the last thing I put him in.
Oh yeah.
He
got cast in Tulsa King.
Did you hear about that? Sylvester Stallone on Tulsa King, the set, the toxic environment that they're being accused of.
Yeah.
That's a bummer. Come on, like he was calling people fat or something, and like I'm like, really? Come on.
I can kind of see Stallone trying to say that, in a comedic way, but it's on Sylvester Stallone. John, you're a good guy, but you're kind of fat. He might be joking, but with the tone of voice he does and how he says things, it might come off as an insult, and people might get pissed off.
I read the art. I mean, it was in Deadline or something. I was like, damn, this is legit. So people are. And like, why would these people like make this shit up? It's like, what's the?
I was gonna say, don't get me started on Taylor Sheridan. I love the Sheridan verse. I love his works, but hearing what's going on with the final season of Yellowstone, I'm just like,
Well, now
Stop
they're
it
saying
all.
Kevin
Give us what
Costner
we
wants
need.
to come back. He wants to come back into the.
Well, originally he was the part of the reason why they had to delay it was because of Horizon. Kevin Costner. I know he stars in it. He directed it. I think he might have helped write it.
Well, he did
But Taylor
everything.
Sheridan, like,
He did. He
yeah,
did
Taylor
craft
Sheridan was
services.
like, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
And now Taylor Sheridan was threatening to sue him. I
Yep.
know Taylor
Yeah.
Sheridan and Cole Hauser are in a legal battle.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
and that's over fucking coffee, people. I love Yellowstone. Taylor Sheridan's done some great work. I thoroughly enjoy the Sicario films.
He kind of sounds like
Like,
he knows his shit doesn't stink, kind of thing. It's like, hey, I'm Taylor Sheridan. I'm like,
oh, I was gonna say, you want to know what shit doesn't stink? Watch him get his ass. Spoilers for it, but watch him get his ass run over by a car in season 3 of Sons of Anarchy and die.
oh, okay,
Yeah,
I know, okay.
he plays a police. He's like the lead deputy for the sheriff, and he's like, I'm gonna take down the Sons of Anarchy. And what ends up happening is he got his ass run over by a car in the 3rd season.
Oh, fair enough.
So, but he's done great jobs like Hell or High Water. Great film.
I actually saw. I just watched Special Ops Lioness on Paramount Plus. I watched all 8 episodes last week. I liked it. Zoe Saldana. Oh my god, is she sexier than ever? Oh boy. And then I like, but I have like a love hate relationship with it. I love the special ops part, but then like it's about the Lioness program is where she recruits a woman she trains in the military, but then she goes undercover to like flesh out terrorist cells and stuff like that. But then like she goes in to befriend a suspected terrorist's daughter, and like it just becomes a soap opera. But then when they get back to her, I loved her team, like and when they were on and the action and then the ending was cool. But I just wanted more of that in terms of.
Yeah, well, there's a show I thoroughly enjoy, SEAL Team, like when they're doing the
It's my
special
favorite
forces
show.
stuff.
It's my favorite
When
show.
they do the special forces stuff, I love, but some of like the at-home drama, I'm like, can we please go back to the action?
It's not that bad
But
in SEAL Team though. I mean, they do a
not
lot with the military stuff on that show though.
they do. I honestly, it's like seeing the preview and seeing like I saw for Lioness. I haven't seen it because, well, basically how you described it's shown in the preview. And I'm like, this is a show that I could probably sit down and possibly get a bit bored.
I'd give it a
So
7 out of 10. I mean, like I said, I would have gave it a higher score, like if they had more of her and her team. Jill Wagner's in it. I love Jill Wagner, and she's awesome in it. She's not.
I might have to check it out. I like Jill Wagner.
Yeah,
She's a good
she plays
actress.
one of her team members, and she's funny as shit. Some of the lines she's like one of the she's like besides Zoe, like all the other guys are these guys, and like she's just like one of the guys. Like she's one of those like she's a
Well,
lesbian, and like
I
but
was introduced to Jill Wagner in Blade the series, and she did
me
a great
too.
job in that. And
Yeah, I love. Oh, she was sexier than hell in that.
Stargate Atlantis, she was awesome in that. And
Mhm.
I hell, even Teen Wolf, when she pops up in the show Teen Wolf, she's a badass.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, I'm a fan of Jill Wagner. She's a good actress. So
You'll like her in this. I mean, you won't like the fact that she's not a main character. Like she's like, she's one of her team, so she's in it, but it's Zoe, and then I forget the other girl's name, the lioness that she recruits to go in, and they're the main ones and stuff like that. So, and then there's a lot of drama with Zoe's family life and everything, like her character's family life and everything. And I was just like, all right, can we get back to the shooting? Like, let's get back to the violence. But yeah, I give it like a 7 out of 10 because I still dug it. I was still entranced with it, when I was watching it. So,
I might give it a try after I finish up Fallout.
hosting Wipeout. She said, "Oh yeah, she hosted a Wipeout." Hey, a job's a job, right? All right, now let's talk about this little elephant in the room.
Okay.
Ballerina. Yeah, we all know the horror show that's going on with this movie. It was supposed to come out in June, and then it was delayed a whole year because Len
Yep.
Wiseman obviously doesn't know how to do John Wick action, I guess. And then Chad Stahelski had to come in and like do reshoot. Ian McShane, I love Ian McShane. He was quoted in an interview he did like overseas, and he totally was like, "Yeah, it wasn't looking like a John Wick movie, so they brought Chad in." And I'm like, "Oh, damn." So now everybody's like,
Yeah.
no, but then again, everybody once this happens, there's those fans out there that are like, that's it, it's gonna suck. Put a cork in it,
Yeah.
it's done. Where I'm just like, okay, but listen, they're fixing it. Like Chad is like Kevin Feige in the MCU. Like he went in with Daredevil and was like, this looks like shit. He fired everybody and then brought all these other new people in and put the Punisher in. Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
like so.
And
And
it's
not only that, but he put Foggy and Karen back in too.
Mhm.
So it's like, so yeah, so that Chad's coming in. Chad's like, listen, all right, Len, here's what you got to do, and then they're like, but okay, but here's what they're saying out of freaking CinemaCon. They're digging it. They saw a trailer, so
Yeah.
evidently, whatever footage they have, they saw a trailer,
Well,
and
I
people.
like Lynn Wiseman as a director. I know some people are gonna go, "How the hell do you like him as a director?" Underworld people. We got Underworld because of that man. But is it the greatest movie? It would have been better and probably done better theatrically if they would have changed the name instead of just saying Total Recall with
Mhm.
Colin Farrell. But I liked the action. I enjoyed it. Yep. I was surprised to see her pop up in Teen Wolf.
You're like, oh, she's an
Uh,
actress?
but
Oh, okay.
Mhm. But I thoroughly enjoy Lynn Wiseman's films. Are
So
they
do I.
all
I never
hits?
had a problem
No.
with them. Oh.
Yeah.
Mm,
And
see.
I he does enter his movies, even if they're good, cool. If they're bad, they're still enjoyable to a point.
Mm,
But so like I said, if they would have changed the name, I think the Colin Farrell Total Recall would have done a better theatrically because that got shed on because it didn't even help when they like released Total Recall for the first time on Blu-ray right around the same time.
I like the
So I think
Total Recall
I
remake. I'm sorry.
I like the Colin Farrell one.
Sue the
I
shit out of
don't
me,
get me wrong.
people. I did I like it as much as Arnold Schwarzenegger's? No,
No,
but I still
no,
I liked it. I still thought the action was cool. Like Colin Farrell. I mean, it wasn't like it didn't have like the cheesy humor of the Schwarzenegger one, but I still like.
no, but I watched both. That's one of the few movies where I purposely watched both the theatrical and the director's cut of the movie because
Mhm.
I enjoyed it. And I was like, I heard Ethan Hawke was in the film, and I like Ethan Hawke.
And Kate
Granted, he can
Beckinsale.
do some weird shit. What's up?
Kate Beckinsale.
Yep, Kate Beckinsale. And I like her as an actress. She does a good job. They had a stellar cast, especially Bryan Cranston.
Mm.
And stellar cast for this film, but it didn't do well theatrically because
No, it wasn't
it was
going.
overshadowed by the original.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's go back to Ballerina. So in my article, sources are also saying that by the look of the first look footage, the troubling rumors are hearsay, and that this one will be well worth the wait. And that's not my words; that was somebody else's words. With De Armas executing a variety of lethal MMA and gun fu moves they're saying it's feral and less polished, and it's insanely
Well,
violent. Sign me up.
hearing Farrell and less polished, like if she's doing the stuff, you know, if you want to go probably with yeah, he's a competent.
He is. He
Yeah,
is. Yay! We all
but
agree. It's all three of us.
I was gonna say if they're gonna go with like a story character wise, the ballerina probably isn't as experienced as John Wick, and
It did.
uh,
It did kill his career for which is a
mm-mm,
shame.
yeah,
Like I said, because it wasn't a bad movie, people. It wasn't that bad.
yeah, it was. Honestly, like I've been saying, if they would have just called it like Recall or something else,
Or something
probably
else,
would have been
anything
better.
else. Yeah. Like Wasn't his name
But
Douglas Quaid in it too? Was it his? Did it?
yes, it was
Yeah.
every
Like,
Douglas
why would you?
Quaid, and then
Why not just name him something different? Like, why would you even have the same name Arnold Schwarzenegger had in the movie? I'm like, this is dumb.
mhm.
That's dumb.
But
Dumb. But
you
anyway, let's
know,
go back to Ballerina. So yeah,
this
so
is one of those movies where I have to see footage to make a judgment myself.
well,
You know,
evidently the
am I?
people in Las Vegas were digging it, and this is like they're still reshooting the shit. So evidently the footage they're seeing is the stuff they already had, unless they already had some in the can that stuff. So it depends. I'm not sure on that aspect, but like I said,
Yeah,
there's still
like I said, I have to see footage for me to make a judgment. You know, because we could get like, I'm gonna be probably might say something controversial.
me
I
too.
felt that the Continental TV show was kind of a letdown.
I liked it.
Uh,
The middle part, like the middle
it had good
episode, was
moments.
like bullshit.
Yeah,
But like the first part and especially the last part, like I was telling my friend
oh yeah.
from Ohio, it's like they saved the budget for the finale. They're like, we're gonna throw all the money into the finale on this one. It's like, yeah,
Well, they threw all the money into the stairwell fight one shot that they
yes,
did that
yeah,
gave it the John Wick feel, and then they saved it for the third one episode. And think I've stated it either on my show or on this show that I felt that Mel Gibson's character was kind of one of the weaker villains in the franchise.
really, I
But
thought he was brutal, man. Like he fucking killed that Sharon's like friend like with the baseball
yeah,
bat.
that's the only real thing. But the rest of the time, he's kind of like, oh God, I'm scared. It's like, oh,
Eh,
I'm gonna huff whatever the hell he was huffing to to get high. Uh,
that's true.
so they're I've he's like on the weaker end of the spectrum for me. He's not the weakest, in my opinion, in that franchise. But I got to see footage. I have to see footage before I really. It's like I don't know if this is true, but I did read a while back ago that Ana de Almas was like, I'm kind of getting tired of doing action. Everything I've been doing lately has been action. The Gray Man, um,
Mm,
Ghosted, No Time to Die,
that's true. She has been,
Ballerina.
yeah.
So she was saying, I'm tired of doing action, and supposedly she was stating that the Ballerina was going to be her last action film, which I honestly hope not. It, yeah, well, it was a prequel show for the
Yeah.
movies, so.
Yeah.
But I hope she's a great actress. Does a good job. I hope she does more action because it's she can be typecast as an action star, which if and so one of these days, you, Charlie, and I are all going to start talking about the female perspective of action movies and the future of it, and she's got to probably be brought up. One of us is going to probably bring her up in this. And when I was reading the article, because I read it all today, busy with work and other stuff, reading that Norman Reedus is in this movie. I'm like,
Yes.
fuck yes. Fuck yes. I love Norman Reedus. I've been a fan of his ever since Blade 2 and Boondock Saints.
And that
Uh,
I didn't put it in my article, but the guy said that Norman Reedus's character looked like he fits seamlessly into the whole John Wick universe
oh,
type
nice.
thing going on.
And, I'm looking forward to the movie, what was it, The Bike Raiders with Tom Hardy.
Mhm.
Uh, and seeing that Norman Reedus is actually in the previews now, playing a character, I'm excited for that one. Typically, if I find out Norman Reedus is in a movie, I watched a Cuba Gooding Jr. movie, Hero Wanted, mainly because Norman Reedus was in it.
Mhm.
So
So this goes back to what I was saying. I put this in my article, and I said bringing Chad in is only a good thing. But people think that's like the nail in the coffin when things happen like that. But no, they're making it better. And from my experience, it's just because a movie has issues while filming doesn't mean it's going to be a bad movie. There's been plenty of movies throughout history that have had trouble shoots that are good movies. I'm still pumped for it, and I say bring on the
Oh, yeah.
hyper violence and combat and CQB oriented ballet madness. I'm all for it. I'm sold.
Well, I
I'm in.
think people are more scared hearing that another director's coming in because we've had movies like this in the past.
I know.
Uh,
That's what. So what?
that I could list two of them off the top of my head that had really bad issues, and when they brought in another director, Gabriel Burns is in the movie.
Mm. Mm.
All right, I'm seeing it. I'm gonna go see it theatrically. I love
You're
Gabriel Burns. He's
sold.
a great actor. I wish he did
See,
more.
there
Yeah,
you go.
I'm
Look
sold.
at that. Hey.
But like Justice League with Joss Whedon, he reshot like 90% of the goddamn movie, and then we had
So bad.
Ron Howard's Solo, the Star Wars movie. The original directors of that were fired because of
Yeah.
issues going on there. So I can understand why people are uh, having issues with Chad coming in and going, "Oh my god, oh my god." But Chad's a great action director. He can film the stuff. And Lynn Wiseman's more of a refined action, like more seamless, not the hyper style that we've gotten to know as John Wick. Sorry, it's like, hold on, my dog's being an asshole.
It's okay.
The joys of having neighbors in an apartment, and my dog can hear all of them in the hallway. So, but yeah, it's Chad, and the only other director I think who could purposely direct a John Wick film, where people won't bitch about it, is David Leitch.
Yeah, that's
So,
true. Hey, it is what it
but
is.
I'm
Like Len Wiseman directed it. Like Chad's come in to fix it. We'll see what happens. Like I said, it's not the nail in the
I would
coffin.
have
I'm
more
still pumped
issues
for
to
it.
hear if Spielberg was directing a John Wick film. I'd be like, oh hell no, no, no. It's
Oh
like,
no,
don't get me wrong, I enjoy Spielberg for a director, but he cannot be a John Wick director.
no. Well, yeah, of course not. I
Zack
mean,
Snyder, I'd be kind of iffy on, but I'm a fan of Zack Snyder. I've pretty much seen all of his films, so
well, like I said, I say bring on the balletic madness. I'm all set.
yeah, bring it
Now,
on. Bring
I
it.
saved the best for last. Like out of all the news, even the GI Joe Transformers crossover, which I got super excited for. But when I saw this today, I have been waiting literally decades for this to be announced. And I've been there since the very beginning when it was an underground comic book going into my local comic shop, which is literally right down the street from where I grew up. And then I was introduced to these four individuals, and today it finally happened.
Yep.
Angels are singing. There's a bright light coming down from the heavens, and there's doves like a John Woo movie flying around. Yes, everybody. TMNT, The Last Road, and Paramount Pictures developing an R-rated, high body count feature film based on the best-selling comic book. Can I get an amen? Amen.
I will mention one thing you did mention in the article. It's live action, people. It's not animated.
Yes.
Because when I first read that title, I was like, oh, it's got to be an animated movie, or it's like got to be a straight DVD thing. But reading live action, I was like, shit. Okay.
I am so
I'm
motherfucking
ratting
pumped for
on
this. You
myself.
have no idea. I love
Don't
the
really
Last
know a
Ronin.
whole lot of. I don't know a whole lot about The Last Ronin. I'm getting my first full paycheck for my new job tomorrow. So, and I saw what it was. It's a good one. I'm thinking possibly going down to my local comic book shop and picking up a copy of The Last Ronin. I've been debating that for months.
I've seen the hardback edition at Books a Million down the street from me for so long now. It's like as soon as I start getting my financial, which it's coming, I'm gonna, because I've read them, and actually the sequel came out this summer, not this couple of weeks ago, Re-Evolution, which I've not been able to pick up where I'm.
Well, they're saying there's the sequel comic, there's the original comic. I read somewhere they were making a video game. And, it's been a while since I've read Ninja Turtles. I've seen all their movies except for the newest one, the Seth Rogen one. People in Suits would be great, but
I said that in my article. It can't do not do
yep.
CGI. Do it old school throwback. And there's a guy on YouTube. His name
Oh,
is John Likens. And
the watch
I
this
just
footage, people.
just watch this. Now this looks like the original 90s movie, Turtles.
Mm-hmm. It looks like it, but I'm like, this looks like it's CG. It could be CGI, but it looks like the original footage, like original from the '90s. Because I've seen 3 of the 5 live action films theatrically.
Yes. And now here's
So,
Donatello.
mhm. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's like with us talking about it, and if we can get other people blasting it, John Likens can get hired to help out with The Last Ronin.
Right? That's been on there for a
You
while
know,
too. He did that a while ago. Big shout out to him.
yeah, it's like, I'm excited for it. I want to pick up the source material, read it, because I'm like, all right, 3 of the 4 brothers are dead. I'm like, who is the last Ronin? But seeing that,
Yes.
because they were all trained on everybody's weapons, you don't know.
Nope. You don't.
I've been seeing, like, at Walmart, when I go to Walmart, they got the last Ronin action figures,
Oh, I
like
know.
the
I want to
armored
get those
Ronin.
too. Like Books a Million has
I
the armored Last Ronin and the unarmored Last Ronin, and they're like $30 a pop. And I'm just like,
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm just like, but with me, I gotta get caught up on some
but then I go
bills
buy
because
groceries for my daughter because I'm a good dad.
yeah,
Mhm.
there's important things like groceries and children. No, I love my kids. But I'm looking forward to this, especially here reading that it was live action because I thought it was gonna be like another Warner Brothers DC movie
Yeah.
that came straight to DVD, kind of like Ninja Turtles versus Batman, which I enjoyed that one. I'm actually looking forward to Spawn versus Batman, the animated film, knowing that Keith David is doing Spawn's voice again.
Yeah.
I went, the clouds have parted, the sun is coming down. It's a beautiful day hearing that that man is doing the voice of Spawn again. And I'm just like, this is awesome. And seeing, granted, they just announced it. I want to know who the cast is. I want to know who the characters or who's playing who. And I'm it's gonna be a little while before we get anything. I'm
Well,
gonna
yeah.
predict we will be lucky if this gets released in the next 2 or 3 years.
Right, I understand that,
So,
but what I wrote in my article, I said the last Ronin needs to look like the above test footage, but with buckets of
mhm.
blood added in, just like the movies in the '90s. Bring on the best martial arts action performers in the business right now to fill the suits, along with someone like Tim Mann choreographing the action, and we will have blood-soaked gold on our hands. It's always been a
Oh,
chore
exactly.
on how to depict the turtles using their weapons to make it more kid-friendly, but now it looks like Paramount is throwing out the book and saying, "What the hell? Let's make it violent and savage." And I said, "You had me at high body count." Enough said.
Yeah, I'd say high body counts, bloody is savage. Um, like I said, when I first read that they approved it, I was like, it's got to be animated,
Yes,
and
R-rated to boots.
yes, rated R.
I and
Yes,
not
rated
only
R.
Wolverine, not only R-rated, but high body count. That's not my words.
Oh
It's
yeah.
quoted.
So this
That's
is
a quote.
probably gonna be a
High body count.
hard R movie. So,
Yeah,
but
I am so
I was kind of
excited.
iffy because I've seen part of the trailers of the last animated, the Mutant
Oh,
Mayhem.
Mutant
Have I
Mayhem.
seen
I
it?
watched that with
No.
my daughter a month ago, and she was loving it. And I'm just watching. I'm just like this. Mhm.
Yeah.
The
So,
animation
like,
sucked. Oh my god, was it horrible? Oh,
I've
the only
heard
good
that.
thing about it was Jackie Chan was Splinter. I liked how when he talked, he was like
Oh
it
god.
was like Jackie Chan. It's like that's the only thing I
I'm
liked
like,
about it was that they got Jackie Chan to do Splinter. But other than that,
yeah,
oh
I
my
saw
god,
one.
such a
It's
misfire.
like theatrically. out of the movies, I've seen 1, 2, TMNT, and then the first Michael Bay one theatrically, but I've seen all of them except for Mutant Mayhem.
The first
So-
Michael Bay one I liked. I mean, I wasn't a fan of how they looked per se, because I was more of a fan of how they looked in the animatronic days. The second one, I
Mhm.
mean, even with Stephen Amell being in it as Casey Jones, which I thought was kind of miscasting. But yeah, I'm like, we're losing the
I
boat,
am
people.
ex- I'm a Stephen Amell fan. I'm excited to hear that his canceled show Heels is going to Netflix, which might be hopes that we do get the third
Maybe
season.
we're not. Yeah,
I'm hoping.
yes,
I'm hoping.
yeah,
I am. Granted, he did get cast in Suits Los Angeles, which I'm
he
like,
did. Yeah.
that's kind of against his type. I still have to see Code 8 Part 2.
I do too.
Uh,
I'm so behind. Yeah, I mean that came out
oh
too.
yeah, yeah.
I'm like, damn it! I'm like, I think I'm in control. Then all these movies just start popping up left and right.
No, yeah, yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, and it's like I'm excited. I want to see that one, but kids having them around, I can't watch certain things with them because I don't want to traumatize. And I was gonna say, yeah, I liked seeing Stephen Amell in that. If they could kind of do like if they actually brought him back as Casey Jones, that would be cool, but I doubt it.
No,
So
I think that ship has sailed in terms of that.
yeah,
Maybe he'll probably even tell you, be like, yeah. I think he's even admitted, like, when he did it, it was like, eh. It's like not a fan. But yeah. But like I said, like I said, I've been waiting decades, because like I said, I was there from the get go, going into my comic book shop and seeing the issue, and I get it again. I sold my comic book collection when I was young because I needed the money, and I'm kicking myself now. But it is what it is. But I was there from the get go, and I tell my daughter, I went, I'm like, it wasn't for children. Nobody remembers that this was not created for children. It was only in the '90s when Eastman and Laird were like, yeah, we can make lots and lots of money, and then they sold it,
the
and
animated show.
Yeah, and it became the animated show. And listen, I like some of what they did and everything, but I have been waiting so long for an adult-oriented Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie, and for it to be the last Ronin, which is one of my favorite storylines from the comic book. Oh my god, I cannot tell you how it's like I want to say it yesterday, but yet I have so long to wait for it. It's like it sucks.
Yeah, like I said, if we see in the next 2 or 3 years, it'd be a miracle.
Yeah, well,
sounds like
be
it's
so
good.
don't be negative, Nancy. You never know. I mean, the
I'm
announcement
not
today,
being
so who
negative.
knows? Let's fast track this bitch, Paramount. Come on, yeah, this and Transformers and GI Joe. Let's fast track them and let's get this shit going. So that way we all could be happy.
But it's like I even got rid. It's like to prepare. I read all the articles that you posted. I even watched the movie trailers that you'd posted recently, and I wasn't too sold on the movie Jade preview that you posted. And then when I saw
I can see why.
Catherine
I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, it's independent action cinema. I mean, it's like, but I mean, some of it looks solid, some of it does not. I mean, it's just, I mean, the trailer is even rough around the edges. It kind of just ends.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, okay, it's over.
Mark Dacascos is in it. I was like, okay, I like Mark Dacascos. He's a great actor. He's a great martial artist. I'm excited to see him in it. And it's weird seeing him with hair in the trailer.
That's
because
true.
he's but then also seeing Catherine McNamara is in it, and well, fans of this show will know we love Catherine McNamara on this show.
So in love with Catherine McNamara. After watching Air Force One Down, I was even more in love with her. Yeah. I'm like, oh my god, and sexy to boot. I'm like, wow, she needs to do more of these movies. Hello.
We actually discussed that. She needs to strike while the iron's hot, and her doing another action movie is doing exactly what we said. So I think somebody listened.
Oh, I forgot. Oh, I can't forget about this. This was like a Christmas present early.
Hello. This was a shock to me.
Right?
This was a shock. I've been watching season 7, knowing that they were gonna end it with season
Yes!
7,
It was
bummed out
supposed
that
to
they were
end.
ending it.
Listen,
You know,
CBS canceled it
3
after
of
season 6. The next day, they
yeah,
renewed it for season 7. They're like, "Listen, we
and it's
jumped
gonna
the
be the
gun on
final season.
canceling it. We're gonna give you one more season, 13 episodes to wrap up all these story arcs, and that's it." So now you're watching
Well,
it like it's bittersweet, you know, what they did with
yeah,
Luca, you know, and Street and everything. But now it's like
Chris hasn't even been on the
CBS
show
is
for
like,
a
"Oh,
couple
wait a
seasons
second. We're
yet.
just kidding. 22 episodes coming next year." It's like,
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
so
Now, if we could just do that with SEAL Team, CBS and Paramount Plus,
oh,
just
yeah.
be like, "Oh, just kidding. We're gonna bring SEAL Team back for another season," because we all know that was supposed to be ending after the season 2. It's like, let's do it. Let's do it with that one
Yeah,
too. Come on, come on.
that one I think would be it's like, it's gonna be done.
Yeah, I guess so.
And,
But
I do like, Shamar Moore. He's great. I was kinda bummed to hear that he left Criminal Minds, and then I watched the first episode of SWAT, and I'm like, I'm sold.
yeah,
I'm
it's like
sold."
it's okay. We forgive you for leaving Criminal Minds because now you look like
Oh, yeah.
this. You're all tacked up and ready to and
Oh, he's all
kicking
tacked
ass.
up. I will say, if people get offended with language, he talked with Matt Rife, at a stand-up thing, like, he gets on, and yeah, Shamar Moore drops the N-word a few times. I know that some people get offended with that, but you can also tell in the thing that he's drunk. He's been
Mm,
drinking in it,
I didn't
but
even see that.
Shamar Moore,
I don't even know what
honest
you're talking about.
it's a like, comedian, Matt Rife was doing a show, and somebody was saying, "If you're gonna say it," and you could see Shamar Moore, and he actually walks up to the stage and gets on stage, and, there he like, one thing he goes, "Okay, this isn't fair. You could be pretty or you could be funny. This motherfucker here, he's pretty and funny. That's not fair. I'm pretty, but I'm not funny." This is Moore's words, people. He says, "Kevin Hart's funny, but that motherfucker ain't pretty." But, I'm just like, "Oh, great." It's like, he was telling these stories. He was funny in it. I thought he was, but I'm a huge fan of SEAL Team. I've been watching it basically
My
since day
favorite show because
one.
like after Strike Back ended, I was like, "Damn, what am I gonna do now?" Then SEAL Team came out. I'm like, "Yes."
And uh,
And do you remember when it
I
was
was
SEAL
bummed.
Team and SWAT together back to back on Thursday nights? It was
Yes.
like boom,
Yeah,
boom.
well, I don't have cable, but I'd watch it, like, I'd watch it back to back
Well, I
anyways.
did, yeah. Well,
So,
I mean, I haven't had cable for a long, long time. I do streaming now, like everybody else pretty much does.
yeah,
But back then, I did have
but,
it, and it was
I
like back to back, and it was like the greatest night
I
of
will say
television.
I was bummed because at the time when SEAL Team and SWAT came out on TV, we also had another little show that didn't last all that
Yes,
long,
he was in
was,
Birds of
yep,
Prey.
yes,
Yep,
that's what introduced me to Shamar Moore, was,
yep.
Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey.
But, we also had a show called Only the Brave, which was kind of a SEAL Team-esque show, but it was Army side. Oh, yeah, very much so.
As most people have. Yeah.
But, Shamar Moore, I could see him doing. I know he's a little up there in age. He's in his late 40s, early 50s, but he can still do the action. He's a
The dude's in
badass
shape.
in it.
That's age is just a number.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, really good. Like,
Well, they show it in the credits. Like, at the end of the credits, you see the chopper lifting up, and Shamar Moore is just walking like a badass in front of the chopper. And I'm
yes.
like, we need him to do a movie where he does something like this.
He needs to walk
And
away from an explosion, people.
oh,
In
yeah,
slow
he'd be the
motion. In
perfect
slow
one.
motion.
Yeah, slow motion walkaway, doesn't look back at all. That would be fucking awesome. I love
That would
Shamar
be the
Moore.
shit.
I when I read that on your website today, I was like, season 8's coming? But but yes.
He agrees. We
But
all
I
agree.
was
Once
just
again, all three of us are in agreement.
oh, yeah. But,
Yes, I know.
well, now see, here
Again, I thought I was done for a little bit. I'm like, all right, I'm done. And then
yeah.
I go on at some other site. I'm like,
Well,
I was
like,
excited, but I'm like, now I
I
got to put it on my website. I'm like, so it's like,
I
damn
was
it.
bummed out because I watched, last week's episode of SWAT, and seeing what they did with Luca,
I
was
cried.
bummed.
I mean, I didn't bawl, but I got
almost did.
misty-eyed. And I'm like,
Yeah, I got
"Aw,"
misty-eyed,
like
and
but here's what I'm thinking.
Street.
With my friend from Ohio, my good friend who's like a brother to me, his name's Jimmy. We were talking, and I told him, he's like, "You're fucking with me." I'm like, "Dude, go on my website right now. It's on there. I wouldn't post it if it was fake news." And he was like, "Oh my god," because he loves the show just like I do. And I was like, "Listen, now that it's coming back, I mean, Luca and Street can maybe like do some like guest appearances, and like even though Luca's
Yeah.
retired, like they could be like, oh, we need Luca's expertise on this one. He can come in and like be in the computer room, or something like I mean, obviously he's not going to be driving Black Betty, but do
Doing
something like
the
that.
one
And then
thing he
Street's in
doesn't
Long
want to
Beach
do.
doing SWAT, so they could bring Street in anytime.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he doesn't want to be on the show. I get it, but I mean, he could do guest appearances or something like. I mean, you never know. I mean,
I would love to see Chris come back. Chris should come back because she was badass.
she was, and she's easy to look at as well. Sorry, I'm single now. I'm noticing all these ladies now. No. Yeah, I love Fire Country. Yep, Max from SEAL
I've
Team.
been.
They did his character so wrong on SEAL Team, though.
Oh fuck!
So
I fucking
wrong.
hated how they did his character in the end of that.
But I get it. That's life. I mean, life happens like that. Like he's this badass operator, and then this happens, and then that's how. I mean, that's life.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
One
but it's
show
still
that
watch it unfold. And then his team couldn't make the funeral because they couldn't get away in time because they were on the mission. And they show up and he's already buried. I'm like, you couldn't even have them show up at the funeral because I wanted them to be able to make it and then come to the funeral and have this big elaborate funeral scene. No. They just show up and then his wife comes up and hugs Sonny, and I'm just like, wow, this is low key. Whatever.
Well, I will say, growing up and around the military, that it happens sometimes that way.
I know
the unit that you're with.
I know, but I just wanted them to have a scene. I think he deserved a send off. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I would have loved to seen Sonny walk up to it, like when they stamped down the tridents.
Exactly.
I would have loved to see Sonny slap. I would have loved to see Sonny do that, but slap it down and just fall over crying and having his wife. So yeah, having Clay's wife be the one that helps him up while everybody else is struggling, and she's the only one that can help him up. That would have been great.
They dropped the ball so bad.
They did. They did.
His character deserved better. I mean, listen, I know how he died. It sucked. He got shot by a security guard, mall security guard. I get it. But they should have still had a good send-off for him because he was there from the beginning, and he was such an instrumental part of the show, and his character arc was so awesome. It just, I just don't understand why. I get it. Life sucks, but they still. What?
I was gonna say a show I'll suggest to you is Tracker.
I watch it. I watch Tracker. Love it.
Yeah. I'm a Justin Hartley fan. I loved him in.
He was Green Arrow
Smallville.
First. He was Green Arrow first. Everybody.
He was.
And he was.
Well, actually, he was Aquaman first.
Yes. I meant he was Green Arrow first before Stephen Amell. That's what I meant. Yes, and he was Aquaman first. Yes, but no, yeah, he was Green Arrow before Stephen Amell became Green Arrow. That's what I meant by first. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was gonna say he was Aquaman before Alan Richardson.
And he's so good on Tracker. I love him on
Jason Momoa. Yeah,
he's so good on Tracker.
Oh yeah, great. I watch. What I do is I do a back-to-back with SWAT and Tracker myself. So
yeah, I'm gonna start watching SEAL Team again from the beginning because I have time right now. So I'm just like, because I've been like trying to like take my mind off things and stuff like that. And, doing the website and the podcast and stuff is one thing, but it's like in the downtime, it's so hard. It's like I got to figure something out. But I do have something. I'm not gonna say it on the air. I'll let you know when we go off. But yeah, I mean, but I want to know when it's coming back. Like it still says all the episodes are now streaming. It's like, give me a date. I want a date. Like,
no, they're doing one final season and that's it.
Yeah, I know. But
it's taken a while for it. So
I know. Son of a bitch.
like there's some good shows. Seeing the stuff for the like I said, some of these movies, some of them I'm excited for. Some of them I'm like, why?
I'm finally watching
Uh,
Halo. I'm on episode 6 of the first season of Halo. I'm enjoying it. I played the video game
I
a little bit.
enjoyed it.
I played it. Dave and Buster's has the big sit-down Halo game where you're
Mhm.
actually in the cockpit, which is kind of cool. So I played that a lot. So and I love
That is,
Pablo Schreiber. I love him as an
oh
actor.
yeah.
So I'm
Well, I
digging
was
that
gonna
one.
say that is the only that Halo game that you were talking about, the one where you sit down in the cockpit. That is the only Halo game that my girlfriend has played. She played it with me. I've played.
Thank you,
Oh shit.
Wolverine. Always on the
Yep.
nose, like Googling. I
Oh,
love it.
nice. You know what? I will say this. It's like we've John agrees. One of these days we gotta try to get Wolverine to be a guest on the show as well.
Yeah,
So
Wolverine, you want to come on the show? Come on the show. You mean God? You were freaking here the whole. I thank you for your support, and I love the fact that you stick around the whole time. It's like if you ever want to come on the show, you got an invite, my friend. I'll have you
no,
come
yeah.
on the show.
And he's got an invite to my show. It's
I'm
like
a nice guy. I like to talk. Like I told Shane, I was like, it's a lot more fun to talk to actual people than yourself. Because like when I do it by myself, it's like I know people are going to eventually listen to this, but right now I'm just talking. I'm
Mhm.
in my bedroom talking to myself. It's like it's not as much fun.
I will say I surprised my kids last weekend. Uh, Last episode we had, I was starting to watch part of because I had to duck out because of how late it got in sleep. But I actually was watching part of it, rewound it to where I was on screen, and put it on for my kids. And I was like, we were doing our Godzilla and Kong review, and I went, "Who's that?" My 5-year went, "That's Godzilla, Dad." No, who's on TV? Oh, you're on TV, Dad. So doing that made me smile. And I was gonna say, if Wolverine has kids, maybe your kids would love to see you on TV as well. And it'd be nice to actually communicate in a way. So um, I am looking forward to some of the movies from CinemaCon because I've heard of it before, didn't really know what the hell it was. I was thinking it was more of like, oh
Yeah, it's building it up for the movie theaters, like all the movie theater chains. It's
yeah,
like, hey,
that's what
look
I
who we got
figured it
coming! Get
was.
excited because people are going to want to come to your movie theater and spend money. Basically, is what they're saying.
And
It's
hearing that say like The Crow, people are actually liking it from the extended trailer. I
rave
kind of don't.
reviews, not my words, not my words. Somebody else's
Mm,
words. Rave reviews. I've not seen any. I've seen the regular trailer everybody else has, but whatever they
oh
showed
yeah,
at CinemaCon, people dug it. And Ballerina. So there you go.
I want to see the ballerina footage. I personally will probably not watch the extended Crow preview because
Eh,
I already want to see
I
it.
don't think that they're going to show like what they showed at CinemaCon. Like it was probably like an extended fight sequence or something, or in that respect. But I don't think they're going to show what they showed. It'll be another trailer, but I don't think it's going to be exactly what they showed.
Yeah,
CinemaCon, what they showed, it's special. I mean, if it's a trailer, yeah, they'll release it to the public later on. But a lot of times at these events, they'll show you stuff that only you will get to see being in the audience. Because I've been to
uh,
Comic Cons, I've been to New York Comic Con a bunch of times, and Boston's Comic Con a bunch of times. Yeah, and they say it like this is only for you guys. Nobody else is going to see this.
oh nice.
So that's what they which sucks. That's why I want to be there right now, seeing all this. Shit. That's what I want to do. It's like I want to travel and I want to go to these places and like do it for my website. I mean, I did it for New York Comic Con when I went, and I did articles and stuff like that. Check it out; it's on the website. But I want to go to like these big ones and like. Oh, well, hey, whatever. My apologies. I don't have a set schedule. Like I said, it's whatever
Yeah.
I am able to, because like I said, I got a lot of stuff going on right now. It's like,
Well, I was gonna say Wolverine has been a fan of our show or of the show, and he's heard your socials. He's
Oh,
heard your
he's on
emails.
he comes to Owen's show too. That's where I first remember Wolverine from.
Okay, yeah. It's like being a fan of Owen's show.
Mhm.
He's heard my, you know, how to get a hold of me. Message us. We might be able to say hell with it and do a special episode to include you. So it's like I'm willing to do that.
See, I think that's wrong because I think like they should release because they delayed Ballerina for another year. I think because remember when the last Mission Impossible movie came, they released that trailer a year before the freaking movie came out. They should do the same thing with Ballerina and be like, look,
Yeah.
because it's been done before. I mean, they released trailers like with huge amounts of time in between. I think that's what they shouldn't wait too long. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I'd say
I
like late
remember.
summer. I'd say like late summer, like release like a teaser trailer for Ballerina, just to be like, because it's John Wick, and people will get excited for it, and they'll be like, "Ooh, what is this?"
No, show it. I want this trailer tomorrow. Give me the trailer tomorrow.
Well, you know what? Ain't gonna happen. Oh well, listen, I'd
I
never
know.
say never. I mean, I could wake up and be like, "Hey, here's the trailer for that." I was like, "Son of a bitch," but you never know. I mean, like, I love to wake up because then I as soon as I wake up, well, as soon as I wake up now, like on the weeks I don't have my daughter, like I'll wake up and like I'll get my phone out. I'll be like, "Oh, what's going on?" And then sometimes I'm surprised, and sometimes I'm not.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I want to see it. Yeah, it's like I was looking forward to the Continental, and I actually would love to have the Continental on physical media because I'm a completionist, and I wouldn't mind watching like
So
how they did the special effect and stuff.
not all the
Yeah,
time. Well, I mean, yeah. It is. It
but
is what
yeah,
it is.
it's like I'm
Like I said, that's
looking.
why I want to be able to go to these things, or like the Star Wars
Hmm.
Fest, like where they get where they hype up all the Star Wars projects and stuff like that.
Yep.
Like the one that's in Japan. I'm like, yeah, I can only dream of that. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, if you're able to go to that, God love you because you're either rich or you know
Oh God, yeah.
you
I,
have
I would
mommy
love to
daddy
go to
money.
these conventions.
Yeah.
Like I go
Hey,
to Lilac City Comic Con, which is the Spokane Comic Con. I have fun. Like I'm looking forward to seeing one of my childhood. Here's somebody that you would probably like to meet too. I have Sergeant Slaughter's coming to Spokane.
Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah, Sergeant Slaughter's
Oh,
coming to Spokane.
I
She had
remember
to
when you announced
cancel,
him
but
in G.I. Joe. Oh my god, that was like the funniest. That and
oh
the
yeah,
fridge. I love the fridge.
it's
Good times, good times.
Sergeant Slaughter. Eddie's disease. And then whipping the GI Joe into shape. I'm like, only
Yeah,
that.
G.I. Joe the movie. He whipped them, those raw recruits into
Well, no,
shape.
even in the animated series, it's like he's
Yeah,
giving them a hard time, and even tells General Hawk to get to running.
maggots.
Yep, we all go home, or no
Uh,
one goes home.
yeah,
Yeah,
right. Oh, good lord, I'm exhausted. Like I said, this is a bit of oh my god. From like I said, I haven't and I still can't really type that good. So I hope people appreciate the work I did today. Go read it
oh
because
yeah.
it hurts.
Well,
And I did a lot of
you
it
know,
today. Let me tell you. Oh my god, every time I turned around.
sitting down and reading this stuff, I'm like, oh God, knowing about your surgery, and like hell, I even messaged you yesterday. Yes, people, John and I message each other outside of this. And I was like,
Mhm.
how's your shoulder doing? And you're like, it hurts. It sucks. And I was like, seeing all this, I went, oh shit, he's got to be in pain. The poor guy,
Well, a lot of times
showing
it's
the
my
foot.
one hand. Like I do this, like with one hand. Just imagine that. Oh my god, it's horrible.
The
But
old
hey, I
pen
love what
going
I
click,
do, and like
click,
I
click,
said,
click.
this is my therapy, and it distracts me
Hmm.
from all my issues, and so that's why I do it. It's like, and then like for a day like today, I mean, yeah, it was hard because of my arm and everything, but I was having fun. I was. Let's listen. I got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle announcement I've been waiting since I was a
Oh,
kid
that
to
was
get.
cool.
Then not only that, oh, good lord, let's read this. Could we ever see
Oh,
those
wow.
freaking movies because of the Indian America coming back? maybe they can find a way to actually. Well, you could talk to Casper, Shane, Johnny Rico's girlfriend. Yeah, it breaks my heart that she was killed in Starship Troopers too. Yeah, we all love Dizzy Moore. Yeah, and she showed her.
All right,
so there you go.
I will say this, Tan. They did kind of bring them back, but it was for an animated film, Star Trek or Starship Troopers,
Marauders,
Traitor of Mars,
Starship Troopers, Marauders. I thought there was going to be this big Johnny Rico, reunion, and boy, why was that? Oh my god! And then they're in these mecha suits. It was just like it was a horror show.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say they had the anime film Traitor of Mars where they brought back Dizzy. They brought back. They actually brought Dina Meyer back. They brought Casper back to do the voice of Johnny Rico.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. That's not the same.
No, it's not the same thing. But they can do more and actually, bring in elements from the book and the source material because Dizzy in the book is a man.
Mm-hmm. This is true. But thank God she was a woman in the movie. Let me tell you, because Dina Meyer, my God, she's a good-looking woman.
I will say Dina Meyer escalate. A movie could be like a basic 5 or 6 off a scale of 10, but Dina Meyer showing up, it becomes more like an 8 for me.
She's like a ninja. You put her in a movie, it makes it better. And Casper Van Dien. You put Casper Van Dien in a movie, he makes.
Oh yeah, Casper is great.
And such a fun interview. I love talking to Casper Van Dien when I talked to him for the Flood. And he initiated me into Rico's Roughnecks. He's like, "You're not what I'm like, hey!" I'm like,
"Oh, I wish he would have done that when I talked with him on my birthday." I messaged his wife just the other day. She, they're busy, so I totally understand her not getting back to me. But like when I got my job, I told her I got a job, and she went, "Oh, that's awesome, congrats!" And I did invite them back, both of them back, just to talk a movie or something for my show. And Casper's busy, she's busy. She was like, "I'm so sorry. I don't mean to sound like a jerk or anything." I was like, "No, you guys are more than welcome. You have a standing invite. I understand you guys are busy. Like, I'm trying to work for it hasn't happened yet, but a past guest of mine, Running Man, yep. I could
so not excited for it. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm digging Glenn Powell. Like he's come a long way. But he always plays the same type.
I think it's absolutely hilarious that Glenn Powell was in Expendables 3 and then kind of just like plateaued film-wise, and then Top Gun Maverick comes out and he goes,
"Yep."
And we got Twisters coming out, which I'm looking forward to.
Now you got to make out with Sydney Sweeney in a movie, so there you go, right there. That's better than getting.
Yeah. It's like I'm actually been tempted to rent that movie to see how it is because it looks hilarious. I've seen.
It does look funny. It does look funny. It does. It does. It does. I mean, listen, I'm a Bill Paxton fan, and him and Helen Hunt, the original, you can't beat it. But it does look like
I would have, and there in an alternate universe, there is the Godzilla '94 with Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton in it. I would have loved to have seen that. That would have been great, but we got them in Twister.
Are we talking about the same Godzilla that got his ass kicked by a bridge, or would this be like?
No. This is the Godzilla that was supposed to happen before the Godzilla that got his ass kicked by a bridge, because the concept of that was the Atlanteans actually helped create Godzilla to fight an alien being called the Griffin, and the whole concept was this one, the U.S. military finds Godzilla, and a cryptozoologist is sent there to help out. And but a cryptozoologist was supposed to help out, and Godzilla woke up because this chemical that the Atlanteans had used to put Godzilla into hibernation was cleaned off of him, and he awakes, destroys everything. And Helen Hunt is the widow of this scientist, and she wants revenge, and she ends up teaming up with another scientist played by Bill Paxton. And then we have the alien invasion with the Griffin happens, and they have some test footage of Godzilla fighting the Griffin. It's early CGI. Oh, nope, same one.
Good times. Good
It
times.
was Stan Winston had actually developed a maquette of the Godzilla for this movie. So you can find it. There's a whole history of it.
Sounds
Somebody
like the Neil
actually did
Blomkamp Alien sequel we should have gotten instead of Prometheus. But that's a story for another time, as I always say.
Oh yeah, don't get me started on Prometheus.
Nope.
But yeah, it's like these movies that are coming out, like Highlander. Like I said, I'm excited for it, but I'm gonna believe it when I see it because it's been in development for so long.
He's
I
training
think
for it now. That's what Henry
yeah.
Cavill was saying. He's training for it now. So
My thing I have to say to Henry Cavill is, when the hell are we getting the Warhammer 40K show? Because, dude, come on, you've been teasing us with that. We know you love the Warhammer franchise. Give us the goddamn show. I want it. I want the show. It was supposed to be, yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah, that was the whole concept. They really got to do a whole MonsterVerse thing back in the '90s, and Deep Rising was a teaser for a Kong prequel. Spoilers for an almost 30-year-old movie, but they get off the boat, land on an island, and you see the trees moving, and you hear the roaring, and that's supposed to be Kong. So it's supposed to be them on
Oh,
Skull
that's
Island.
okay. I heard that. Yeah. Yep. Now.
So.
Yep.
And that's what would have led into a Godzilla, or possibly a new MonsterVerse, but because Deep Rising didn't do well theatrically, which I don't know why. I enjoyed the
It's a
hell out of that
shame.
film.
Right?
Yeah.
Love that movie. Oh my god, the late great Treat Williams.
Oh, yeah.
And to die in
yeah.
a motorcycle accident. Oh my god.
And then Famke Janssen in one of her early starring roles.
Mm-hmm.
But Steven Summers, he hadn't hit that magic formula just yet until he did The Mummy. So I wish he did more nowadays. I know his last one movie I enjoyed that he did more recently, but it's like a 10-year-old movie now, was Odd Thomas.
I'm gonna cry. Oh my god. I'm just looking on some of these sites. So right now we have Deadpool and Wolverine exclusive R-rated footage at Comic-Con, Captain America Brave New World exclusive CinemaCon, and Alien Romulus brings plenty of blood and practical effects and footage screen at Comic-Con.
All right, why the hell couldn't we get down there, John?
I do not know. Yes, Deep Rising rocks. All right, Mr. Shane. My shoulder is done, and
yeah,
you got to go to work in the morning. I got to take my girl to school in the morning. So
I was like, I have a half an hour to an hour before I got to go to sleep, so I'm good. Because it's 7:00 my time.
Oh yeah, well yeah, not here. So
yeah.
Any last words of wisdom for everybody watching?
I'm just gonna probably harp on a subject I've harped on before: is don't judge a book by its cover, because
or don't condemn a movie before
yeah.
you've even seen a second of footage. People, like, come on, just because. I hate that.
And I have to also state what I've kind of dubbed. You and I have both said it on the show. Rule 3. Be nice. Not to be nice. Yeah, you guys, if you want to talk to me, you can hit me up on actionnerdpodcast@gmail.com. Like I said, Wolverine, hit me up. and I'll talk with John, and we'll try to see if we can arrange something so you can participate. I'm in talks with a previous guest that John knows pretty well, which to try to record in an episode soon. Still trying to learn the new schedule because the job I start at 5 o'clock in the morning, and depending on the day, and since I'm riding with another person, like I was off the clock at 11 today, so it was. So I came home like ate something and took a nap for an hour and a half. So I'm like, I'm good.
God bless you.
But it's like once I start writing alone, it could be like I'm getting off at 12, anywhere between noon and 2 o'clock my time. So I gotta see.
Gotcha. All right, everybody. So CinemaCon, as I just see, we got more shit coming out of it. So
Oh yeah.
I'm probably gonna take a break for the evening and probably do it tomorrow. So make sure you check actionflix.com tomorrow for more CinemaCon 2024 goodness, because I am spent. And so it's been 2 days and I already want to freaking jump off a building. Oh my God. It's so much. I didn't like when I knew it was coming, I didn't think it was going to be, this has like been a flood of shit.
Oh yeah.
All over the place. But I didn't even get into like, Jesse V. Johnson's Chief of Station trailer, so I'll have to do that another time. I talked to Daniel Bernhardt for Extraction 2, and he talked about this movie with me. Chief of Station.
Oh, nice.
Pretty cool. But yeah. So still more to cover, still more to do. Chop my arm off, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Well, I got some exciting news coming down the path, but I just got to wait till I announce it publicly. But that's all I got. ActionFlix.com. We are your ultimate destination for everything action, or your action fix. The Action Nerd, dudes being dudes talking movies podcast. Like I said, still on a hiatus, but it's coming back. And again, the last 2 episodes, I'm on it. I'm still on it. The last 2 episodes, me and Charlie from Give Me Back My Action Movies. And we got to talk about chicks, female action star chicks of the future. So, there's that too. Oh, we got a doggy. My cat's around here somewhere.
He's being a daddy's boy.
Aww,
he's being a daddy's boy.
Cute. He's adorable. All right, everybody. So until then, till tomorrow, until this weekend, maybe we'll do something this weekend. I don't know. It depends.
Yep.
We'll see. Civil War comes out this week. Civil War comes out tonight. I want to see that one with Kirsten Dunst about the.
That's an interesting one.
But the action looks kick ass, and I know it's not like an action. I know it's not like a Rambo movie, but it still looks pretty solid. Like the action set pieces and the stuff like that. So it looks pretty cool. So I'm excited about that one too.
Yeah, I was joking with a coworker today. He was like, "Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that," but he's like, "Yeah, California and Texas team up and succeed from the." I was like, "Yeah, that's probably the far-fetched one for me is California and Texas teaming up." I thought this was supposed to be more realistic, not science fiction.
It still looks like a good movie. And of course, we have Henry Cavill coming out next week in Guy Ritchie's The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
I'm looking forward to that one. While we were talking about it, I was like, wait, that's right. Henry Cavill and Guy Ritchie did 3 films. I was like, oh yeah, the Man from U.N.C.L.E. I forgot about that. And
yep. Which I wasn't that much of a fan of. It was all right, but it's forgettable. I thought it was forgettable.
It introduced. I think that was the movie that introduced me to Alicia Vikander. So.
Oh well, then was it a total loss? So
yeah.
And let's look at my pretty website because it's my podcast. So that's all I got. Like I said, a busy day, busy couple days, and we're not over yet. Yeah. I don't know. CinemaCon probably goes through the weekend. If it does, then I should probably be wasted by the time it's over with. Oh my God, so much to do. All right, so I'm signing off. Shane's signing off. We're both signing off. So until then, treat others as you would want to be treated. Be kind to one another. Just be happy. Don't be a dick. If you're going to respond on social media, don't be an idiot and Back it up.
Yeah.
Just don't be like, oh, put it in a wastebasket or or trash, garbage.
Yeah.
Because that really, I can't stand it. It's like, what? It's like, because I just delete them. I just delete, delete,
Mhm.
delete, and delete. All right, Shane, do you have anything else to add before I put on my logo?
No, I'm
All right.
all good, my friend.
He says no. He's all good. I'm all good. Good night, everybody. Until next time.
Yeah.